Sleepy town settled for the night, where every lawn is tailored just right. And it's about time that the back porch light comes on. At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street. Yeah, there was some bits about Verbena that I was like, that's interesting in the movie.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, can't wait for you to tell me about it. Hey,
Yeah.
which
All right.
hey?
Hey, which hey, I'm Justina.
I'm Christina.
Welcome to Magnolia Street, your one and only musically inspired practical magic fandom podcast.
Every week, we deep dive on different aspects of the movie and the books, as well as treat your ears to our very own practical magic inspired original music. I feel like that snake episode took a lot out of us, and we're just cruising now.
So with spring being sprung, this week we're getting back into our herbal studies and bringing you yet another magic and lore episode to add to the Stinas audio grimoire.
Yeah, we have a whole playlist of the different herbs are adding to our personal grimoire, and over on our Patreon, you can see all of that in one place. So today, we're taking a closer look at an herb deeply entwined with the world of practical magic, verbena, which I didn't fucking know because I'm an idiot, is also vervain.
I didn't know that either.
I had no clue why the two names. Hopefully we talk about that. But in Alice Hoffman's Practical Magic series, verbena is more than just a plant. It's a powerful ingredient in spells, a healer's ally, and a symbol of protection and love. But if you've only seen the Practical Magic film, you might have missed it altogether, except in one important place. The name of Sally Owens's apothecary shop, Verbena Botanicals. Which I thought it was Verbena Apothecary, but it's not.
Right. Yeah. It's not in the movie at all. Like the actual herb, like them using it in anything, not there.
Okay.
So why does this little herb hold such a strong presence in the books? And what might its quiet inclusion in the film mean? From ancient herbal lore to modern day witchcraft, we're uncovering the magic and mystery of verbena, aka Vervain. And speaking of, we'll also explore why this herb is known by two different names.
Good.
So
okay.
Pour yourself a little cuppa, water, tea, nothing if you're me right now. Settle in and let's begin. So first of all, let's get into what is verbena, because I never even knew what verbena, like I knew it was like some kind of flower, some kind of herb, but didn't know exactly what it is. Verbena is known by its scientific name, Verbena officinalis, also known as vervain, vervine, holy herb, Juno's tears, pigeonwood, herb of the cross, and herb of grace, and it's a perennial herb native to Europe and Asia. It belongs to the Verbenaceae family and is characterized by lobed, toothed leaves and delicate pale purple flowers. Also, it comes in many other different kinds of flowers, and there's so many different varieties of verbena / vervain that I didn't realize that there were that many varieties of. So this one in the picture here, I guess maybe that's common vervain, but there's like so many, because that's not the, I've grown verbena in my garden, and that's not what the one that I have looks like.
I'm sure there's many different species.
There's so many different kinds, so we'll get into that in a second. But the plant's name varies by region and historical use. The Latin verbena means sacred bough, referring to its use in ancient rituals and medicine, while vervain comes from the Celtic vervain. In the United States and the United Kingdom, verbena is the preferred term, whereas vervain or vervine is more common elsewhere, particularly in discussions of its medicinal properties. Despite these variations, both names refer to the same genus, verbena, and are used interchangeably depending on context and region. So yeah, when you hear vervain and when you hear verbena, it's both the same thing. And I guess it depends on where you're from. And also, yeah, people use vervain to refer to, I guess, more medicinal properties. Whereas, like, if you're just talking about, like, the plant in your garden, you would probably just refer to it as verbena.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. It's like a nightshade belladonna.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So now that we kind of have a basis of what it is, we're going to dive right into the film, okay? But in the film, we don't actually see any verbena as far as the plant or herb goes. It's never used in any of the spells. It's not listed in the grimoire, and we don't see any of the jars in the aunt's apothecary cabinet labeled with verbena or vervain, as far as the eye can see anyway. Maybe, you know, it is in the garden somewhere, but
Mhm.
we don't know about it in the movie. We never really hear about it, only in the name of Sally's apothecary shop. So let's take a look at how Verbena pops up in the film, when it makes its presence known, and why Sally might have named her shop after an herb that seemingly has no other mention or visual appearance in the film.
Mhm.
Like, I always wondered, why Verbena?
It's so
Right?
random.
It is very random, especially like, why not lavender apothecary or
Yeah.
mint? I don't know, something that like they actually like use in the
Something
movie,
more well known.
or wisteria apothecary, or
Yeah.
like something cool like that. So let's take a look. So Sally has always been concocting herbal blends since childhood. She had her first go, the big one that we see anyway, of her working up her Almas Veritas love spell in the greenhouse. This is where she creates her very first herbal blend in the name of love, right? We also see her working in the garden before the aunt's love spell kicks in, and she leaves to go run into town to kiss Michael. So it is very clear from these couple instances that she's very in touch with working with the earth, and that is her magic. But it's more of kind of a practical magic, right? She uses her hands to get into the dirt, to mix the flower petals, to do her that's her magic. The first time Sally talks about the botanical shop, however, was during the scene where Jillian comes to visit her in the night, around 22 minutes in, and she shows Jillian that photo of her and Michael, and she says, "We were going to open up a botanical shop where Mike would get all the ingredients and I would make the stuff. He really loved my mint oatmeal shaving cream, couldn't stop eating it." And that's the only really thing that we hear about anything that she makes in the actual shop. We don't really know any of the other stuff that she's selling aside from the placenta bars that the townspeople are talking about later on in the film. It never dawned on me that she said he would get all the ingredients. I never put two and two together, that duh, because he works in produce, so he could
Yeah.
probably, right, he could probably get a real good deal on those bulk cacao
Yeah,
apples.
for sure.
So,
I
with
wonder if he grew the things also.
also,
Or
right,
is just
also
he a supplier, you know?
right. And if the aunts have that garden going on Magnolia Street, because we've seen Sally work in the garden and we've seen the beautiful garden, I wonder if they had like struck up some kind of deal with him to grow the stuff
Yeah. What
yeah,
a good,
sell.
they
Yeah,
would have been so good together.
I
You
know.
know,
Like
they would have worked
power
really well.
power couple in the I guess produce.
Business savvy.
Yeah, exactly. She talks about the botanical shop as a dream project that her and Michael had together that never came to, not to, no pun intended, fruition, right? Because of his untimely passing. And in the words of John Lennon, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans, right?
Mm.
I'm pretty sure, I think John Lennon requoted that from another source, but no, I don't remember what that source was. But
Mm.
ain't that the truth? So
Mm.
that's your reminder right now to do the thing that you have an idea about. Just do it, because life is too short not to. Like,
Mm.
could you imagine if we never jumped on the podcast idea? Like, what the hell would we be doing with our time?
I know. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
The thought I always have is like, oh, somebody else has already done it or done a
Right.
version of it. So that keeps me from doing it. Or if I've started a project like this writing project, I'm like, is this just for me? Am I planning on sharing this? Like, there's always that back and forth in your brain, but just do it. So then
Yeah.
it's out of you, you know, and then you can decide later on what you want to do with it.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd probably definitely be getting a lot more sleep if we weren't doing the
I
podcast thing.
know.
Maybe not. That's debatable.
Mhm.
All the time anyway. But if we didn't, you're right. Somebody else might have. Just do it. Just do the thing. This botanical shop was just a dream that they had. There's no mention of a name or even any indication of how far they got in the actual planning of things. Because Sally quickly changes the subject and says to Jillian, "I'm sure all of this is really boring to you, but he really made me laugh." And like, Jillian is kind of just letting Sally talk. She's not really saying much. And who knows, maybe it wasn't really that interesting to her. Maybe she felt obligated to go see her sister because she felt her palm aching from across the pond,
Mhm.
right? So she's like, I need to go see her. But I don't know, maybe Jillian really didn't care about, all the stuff she was telling her about Michael and his life and the life that they shared together and the dreams that they had about opening the shop together.
I'm sure she did. She can't be that callous. I just think that
Right.
maybe Sally is so used to hearing about Jillian's like far out adventures and like, but this was my dream in the small town of opening this simple shop with my husband who would make the stuff. And I know that doesn't sound like your life, but she's like, that is what would have made me so happy, even though that wasn't Jillian. But
Yeah.
Jillian's sitting there letting her vent and letting her talk. And
Right.
that's love, you know?
Yeah. The only thing that really made me like gave me that vibe was that like right after Sally says that, the scene cuts into Jillian talking about herself.
Yeah, yeah.
So like that was the last thing Sally says, and the scene fades over to Jillian in front of the fireplace, like saying like he's just so intense.
It's
Talking about
probably
Jimmy.
still so painful for Sally too to like just bring up Michael. Like, I mean, you've
Yeah.
gone through grief just having to open that wound all over again. So there's probably only so much she was willing to share at the time. And it's like, okay, let's talk about you now because I'm gonna
Yeah.
fall apart.
Yeah, there's also that. Um, yeah, I was just like in my head I was like,
Jillian, Jillian, Jillian.
yeah, well, because at the end of the film, Sally says that to her. She's like, "It's all about you, me, my." Like, that's part of the conversation that we'll probably never see or hear. They
Hmm.
just, the directors just cut to the next scene.
Mm.
So who knows what that conversation in between was like?
Today I got a email hit update on Practical Magic 2. Nicole Kidman is saying nothing, but the headline was like Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock talk daily about Practical Magic 2. So she's in this interview and the woman asks her like what's going on? Like you and Sandy talk? She's like, "Yeah, we talk pretty much every day or every other day
Oh.
about Practical Magic 2." And I've seen her do this more than once. And she's like, "So what do we have? What's gonna be going on with Jillian?" And she just like shakes her little finger, shakes her little head, and she walks away. She's This has happened multiple times. Like she's not saying anything.
Love that.
Yeah.
Wow, they are so tight-lipped. I guess, yeah, stuff is greenlit, but I mean, really, how much can they say right now,
Right.
right? They're still trying to probably figure out the entire, not cast, the entire production team. I mean, maybe some people aren't hired yet, and, they really
It's
have to
yeah, yeah,
hush hush until things are official with certain stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, so Jillian, the scene fades over for the rest of Jillian's visit and she makes it about her with her Dracula cowboy. But yeah, maybe Sally is just it's better a distraction for her to just talk about something else.
Mm.
And before Jillian leaves though, her and Sally do get in a little bit of pillow talk and they have a tender moment and Jillian gives it to Sally straight. Right? She tells her to get her ass out of bed, go brush her goddamn teeth, and take care of those little girls. And I think it was like a really good reminder for Sally to get her shit together. She can't grieve forever. I mean,
Mm.
grieving, there is no timestamp on grieving. So I think she realized in that moment that she can't live for somebody who's in the ground. She has to live for herself and her little
Mhm.
girls because they're the ones still walking on this earth. She's got a life to live, right?
And a piece of Michael lives on in them.
Exactly,
Mm.
exactly. And in the shop, right? Because she ultimately finally opened up the shop and that was their dream together. So in a way, that was kind of like a nice tribute to do that in his honor. So the next scene, it seems like Sally awakens with a new lease on life. She stretches and rolls over across the pillow. We see that little smile spread across her face, like she's no longer being held back by her grief. So she gets up, she gets her ass out of bed. She probably goes and brushes her goddamn teeth. And then we get that music montage of her walking through town and to a storefront where there's a sign on the door that says Verbena Botanicals coming soon. So she's got the keys to the shop. She walks in and she kind of looks around and smiles at the boxes around the bottles that they have already started to start stocking on the shelves. The shop kind of looks like a little bit of a hot mess in those two pictures, but they're clearly setting up shop, right? It's not they're not open for business yet. So,
I'd be so worried moving around there, all that glass.
oh my
Like
God.
their little production team, their design team, the aesthetic of the shop is so freaking cool. The white, the pales, the greens, the dark, the contrasting colors is so beautiful.
Yeah, it is really pretty. It's very like clean, very
Hmm.
clean apothecary. The bottles are kind of like what do you call it? Like a fashion statement almost. Like the way that these bottles are really freaking cool and they're all different
It's
and
a
I guess
vibe.
it is a vibe depending on what is in the bottles. Like I don't know, what do you think those because they look like wine bottles
They
almost.
do. Yeah, they look like wine bottles.
Right? Like Bath and Body products they're storing in these
It's
wine bottles.
like bath bubbles, like it's like bubble bath. It kind of
Yeah,
sometimes
maybe.
comes in that liquidy form. Could be shampoo, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to do like a little bit where we kind of try to see. Well, it's kind of hard to see the labels because
It is.
the writing on them is so tiny. And later on, I put like a couple, I don't know if they're prop replicas or actual pieces from the film where you could see like what the labels actually look like. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. But yeah, so in the next shot after this, we see Carla and Linda Bennett. So now she's got some staff helping her stock these shelves. And then the little girls come to visit her in the shop where they're kind of like making silly faces in the window, which is really cute. But real quick, let's jump back to Michael's death scene for a second. Because Christina, do you remember on our Black Dog episode when you pointed out that when we see where the black dogs stop to look at the bicycles coming around the corner, you can see that lattice fencing that creates a bit of a dead end at the end of that street. And you see that picture where those bicycles are coming through? That's actually Sally's shop.
Yeah. Yep, it
And,
is.
and,
They go right
and
by
the,
it, and that's where the dog was waiting.
yeah, and the lattice is right next to that on the right. The next photo down is a further angle where we see the bicyclists riding away toward the camera, and you could see the building of Sally's shop off into the distance. In that shot where Michael's kind of like waving goodbye to the bicyclists when he realizes that, okay, I might have gotten through this unscathed, unbeknownst to him, to the left of him is that lattice.
Yep.
So he's like right in front of Sally's shop pretty much when this happens.
Yeah.
And also, you pointed out that it's the same dead end that we see when Sally comes out of her shop to confront Gary when he leaves after purchasing the most expensive shampoo of his life.
Yeah.
As a guise to question Sally's staff. So my question is, do we think that the space that Sally is leasing for her business was an intentional choice? Because her botanical shop is pretty much at the scene of her husband's accident and death. Do you think she chose this space in a way to honor him and the fact that this was an endeavor that they were supposed to pursue together? And maybe if she planted her business at the spot where he left the physical plane, in a way she felt as if he was still there with her, pursuing this project with her in spirit. And the thought of that notion made me ponder why the name Verbena for the shop. Does its meaning have a greater significance? Was this a name that her and Michael thought of together prior to his death, or was this something that she chose later on that held a more spiritual significance or deeper meaning pertaining to Michael? So I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said Sally likely named her shop Verbena Botanicals as a subtle nod to the herb's powerful association with healing, protection, and magic, whether consciously or unconsciously. In the practical magic books, Vervain, also known as Verbena, is frequently mentioned for its medicinal and magical qualities. It's known for its ability to cleanse negative energy, promote love, and even break curses, all of which align with Sally's journey as a healer and herbalist. Even though she tries to distance herself from magic, her apothecary shop is a place of quiet enchantment where people seek remedies and solace. The name Verbena Botanicals could also reflect her lineage. The Owens women have always worked with herbs, whether in love spells, healing tonics, or protective charms. Choosing the name Verbena might be an unconscious way for Sally to embrace her heritage while maintaining a more practical, science-based facade for her business. Additionally, Verbena has strong literary and folkloric ties to love, divination, and banishing bad luck, all themes deeply intertwined with Sally's story. By naming her shop after this potent herb, she might be subtly acknowledging the magic she cannot fully escape, even as she tries to live an ordinary life. There you go. And later on, we talk a lot more about folklore and mythology, and I came across a small piece of information. I jumped ahead and I kind of like skimmed through the folklore stuff because I was like, is there anything in here that we can tie back to the movie? And I did find a small piece of information that actually makes a lot of sense when connecting it to the movie. So it is said that ancient Egyptians believed Vervain sprang from the tears of Isis as she cried over the death of her beloved Osiris. Knowing what we know about Sally, when she corrected Jimmy about Louis L'Amour facts, this woman clearly is learned about literature. She spits facts because she's well versed, and she probably reads a lot of mythology, and I could see her naming her store Verbena with that very notion of herself as Isis, crying those Vervain tears over the death of her own Osiris, her Michael, and her shop location being at the epicenter of his death. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's very intentional, the location and the name. I don't think it's a stretch to say that Sally named her shop Verbena Botanicals as a tribute to Michael, inspired by the Egyptian folklore that Vervain sprang from the tears of Isis as she mourned Osiris. And given Sally's deep love for Michael and the profound grief she experienced after his death, this connection would be a poetic and meaningful way to honor his memory. As for the shop's location, it's unclear whether Sally consciously chose to lease the exact spot where Michael was killed, or if fate led her there. Given the themes of destiny and magic and practical magic, it's likely that the universe guided her back to that place, perhaps as a way to bring her full circle, helping her heal and embrace her path as a healer. Even if she didn't initially realize the significance, she may have felt drawn to it on a deeper, more subconscious level. And ultimately, the name and location of Verbena Botanicals could both symbolize Sally's journey through grief, love, and acceptance, transforming loss into something beautiful and meaningful.
I love it. I love that
Right?
Egyptian connection. That's
Right.
so
And
sweet.
like, who would have thought? Who would have thought? I was like, why the name Verbena? But like, if you look at that whole myth, it's like, duh, Isis is crying tears of the Vervain over over her beloved that she's mourning.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that's like so poetic? And I'm wondering if if the writers of the film who are naming these locations, if that was an intentional choice, like a conscious decision,
I
or if
don't
it
think so.
just so happened to line up that
They
way.
have so many like lucky guesses.
Yeah.
Or it's just us doing the research for them on the side, like, oh, good job, guys.
Yeah.
I love what you found. That's
You're
cool.
probably right. There's probably a lot of happy accidents, but I mean, leave it to the Stinas to do the dig.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And there you go. There's a connection. That's what we do. We make the connections for you guys. I thought that was so fascinating. So I have a question as far as the products being sold at Verbena Botanicals is concerned. Do we think Sally is selling her famous mint oatmeal shaving cream? And is it edible? And are the customers eating this stuff?
I'm not sure if she's putting it out there. Like, it's probably not on the label that it's edible, but she's probably like, also, it's safe to ingest. So if you and your partner, are feeling, happy, go for
Saucy.
it. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I asked ChatGPT to write me up a recipe for mint oatmeal shaving cream just now. You had mentioned maybe there's like egg in it, like whipped egg.
Right.
That would, it's good for your skin. I don't know how shelf stable a whipped egg will last you.
Exactly.
So here's what it gave me. It says, here's a simple, skin nourishing, edible mint oatmeal shaving cream recipe that's gentle, moisturizing, and safe if accidentally ingested. So also maybe that she's like, it's cool to ingest, don't eat it for breakfast.
You might
So
not
this
want to.
says
Yeah.
it's perfect for sensitive skin and provides a smooth, creamy lather. So you're going to want half a cup of colloidal oatmeal or finely ground oats, quarter of a cup of coconut oil, quarter cup shea butter, which softens your skin, 2 tablespoons of honey, which is a natural humectant.
Humectant? What's that?
Humectant.
I never heard of that word.
1 tablespoon of Castile soap, which I'm not sure about this, the soap part.
Yeah.
ChatGPT for light foaming. This is optional, so you can totally skip that. And then you can do the quarter teaspoon of peppermint extract for refreshing scent and mild cooling effect.
That sounds nice. So this wouldn't foam like an actual shaving cream that you would get at like
It
one
would
of those.
probably be like a gel.
Okay. All right.
You
Yeah.
got the honey, you got the coconut oil warmed up.
Yeah. That does sound really good. That sounds like breakfast, actually. Whenever I heard her talk about her mint oatmeal shaving cream, my mind always went to like maybe she whipped some like she made eggs into like a meringue, got a real foamy, and
Mhm.
then like put the herbs in somehow and slathered that all over her legs.
Did Jessica
That's what I'm
Simpson ever
thinking.
have a shaving cream in
Jessica
her
Simpson?
arsenal? Mhm.
I don't think so. Did she? What? She made edible stuff, right? Like, what's it called?
Yeah.
Like cupcake or something?
Yeah. Let me look real quick.
Yeah, I don't remember a shaving cream, but
I wonder if she saw this movie. It was like, I want to do that.
uh-huh. I remember her being on like QVC promoting this stuff. It might, yeah, she might have loved this movie because I think if that was around the early 2000s, it would only have been a couple years after this movie came out.
Oh, this is a lotion cream. Jessica Simpson dessert treats creamsicle kissable whipped cream lotion.
Okay.
So that's close.
Yeah.
That's
No shaving
close.
cream though?
You probably use it. I use conditioner to
Oh,
shave.
yeah. Me too. I can't tell you the last time I bought a store-bought shaving cream.
Yeah.
Because one day I woke up and I was like, this is a scam.
I agree. Yes.
I was like, why are we buying an extra thing to shave our legs? We could just use our hair conditioner. It's just
Yes.
so stupid.
Yeah.
So I stopped buying shaving cream a long time ago.
Mhm.
But I mean, if you're making it homemade, it sounds lovely.
It
If
does.
you don't have to spend the extra ingredients and it's or spend the extra money on like a store-bought cream just to, get something quick. This
Hmm.
seems like an actual a process, but it seems like also an experience too, like
Yeah.
something you together and do with your girlfriends on like a Friday night, just make your own homemade Bath and Body products. I've had many of instances like that because I used to do the doTERRA stuff and we used to do like little gatherings where we would get together and make homemade Bath and Body products using
That's
all the
cool.
and it was so much fun and everybody
That's
got to take
cool.
home a little jar of whatever they made and it's a nice little favor.
That's
Yeah.
adorable. Yeah, you could really make this whatever flavor you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, so I love this recipe. Maybe I'll put this in my little arsenal and try this out. So Sally says Michael couldn't stop eating this mint oatmeal shaving cream and that he really made her laugh. So I was wondering if that had anything to do with the questionable ingredients in Dwight's product that quote doesn't work. Because if Michael had a sense of humor and his spirit is kind of lingering around this shop because it's right where his accident happened, that's where he died. I wonder if he's like messing around with people's products from beyond the grave. Like, why did like Dwight is like the product doesn't work? So I'm like, is Michael fucking around with certain people's product
I
just
think
like fuck
Dwight's
them?
just an idiot.
Yeah, you're probably right. So yeah, while we're on the topic of the film, I thought it would be relevant to quote take a peek at some of the info of the retail space where Sally's Verbena shop scenes were filmed. The building itself resides on Whidbey Island at 901 Grace Street in Northwest Coopville, Washington 98239. And the business currently occupying the space is Little Red Hen Bakery, and some articles mention that the business that occupied the space during the time of the filming was Molcajete Mexican Kitchen. So I think that's what it was when they were filming it, and maybe they, let the film crew take over for the film. The building is no longer that white pristine storefront. They painted the top of it like a more of like a gray, and they have the little red hen sign up on top. So the Little Red Hen Bakery is founded and owned by Patrick Goldacker and Tyler Hansen, and they say, we began getting serious about the bread we served at our former restaurant during the slow season in 2015. All right, so I guess they've only been there about since 2015. It says we were baking our loaves out of 8 Dutch ovens, but more and more people wanted to buy our bread. We began selling it at the Coopville's Farmers Market. Is that the one that Michael worked at?
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
down the
that's
street?
cute.
Yeah, and started having a hard time keeping up with the demand. But we needed a bigger oven. Having only purchased the restaurant a year earlier, we didn't have a lot of capital to work with. In order to purchase a proper bread oven, we started a bread club to sell subscriptions. The island residents came through, and we were able to buy an oven in February of 2016. We've continued to expand our bakery through subscriptions, making it a community-supported endeavor. As it grew, we knew it had to have its own identity. We launched the Little Red Hen Bakery in January 2019. Okay, so they haven't really been there that long. They say you know the story, right? She grew the grain, milled the wheat, mixed the dough, and baked the bread. After 2 wheat harvests on Eby's Prairie, we hope to grow and continue that tradition with our business.
Cute.
And so they sell a variety of breads and pastries, and their mission is to bake craft bread and pastries that celebrate flavors of grains. And you can find them on Little Red Hen Bakery, Whidbey.com, and their IG is little_red_hen_bakery if you want to find them over on Instagram.
Can't wait to go see this town.
I know. Look, their address is 4.
I know, but why does it say 4? Was their old place 901? Great.
Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Yeah, this one, it looks like it says 4.
Interesting.
But I don't know. That's the address I pulled off Google, so that should be the most current address, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
What do they got going on? They got an art festival poster in the window. They
Yeah.
are inclusive. They got pride flags. They serve espresso.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like a cute little spot, and there's so many photos if you go on that website or even search them on Google. There's so many pictures of all the pastries and stuff they sell, and they look so good. So yeah, we gotta make it out there, man.
I know.
I hope these planes stop crashing so we can
Yeah.
go somewhere. Okay, so let's talk about, I guess, the actual design of the labels of all of Sally's bottles and the design of the bottles themselves. Like we said, like it looks like she uses wine bottles to store some of her Bath and Body products.
They are very beautiful. This is not ideal for a bathroom, which is usually like tiled, because
Right.
that shit's gonna shatter. But some of these, the photo that we're looking at is Jillian sitting in the window smoking her
Yeah.
cigarette, are
Yeah.
clear. Like, is this shampoo? Because I know sometimes it can be like a clear gel, but then right behind her, it's like a milky, opaque. Is that the right? Yeah, opaque kind of liquid. What would that be?
Maybe like a soap or like you said before, like a bubble bath, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking whatever's in those darker green, smaller little jars, probably something that shouldn't be exposed to sunlight, right? Because usually you put stuff like that in the darker jars. So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe the lighter, taller bottles that look more like a wine bottle, maybe that's something more like a bubble bath. And it's probably very luxurious because if we remember what Gary said in a later scene when he comes into the shop, he's like, I've never spent this much on shampoo before in my life. I'm thinking whatever Sally is selling in these bottles, it's got some really good ingredients, and the price point on these is probably very expensive.
It's boutique. Like, what's another word for like high
top
end?
top shelf
Top
Bath and
shelf.
Body.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's like the Grey
Couture. Like it's a couture.
Couture. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like the Grey Goose of Bath and Body products. I only want to save it for special occasions.
But just looking at the photo that you're gonna tell us about next, these bottles are big. Like you said, they're like wine bottle size, and it says shampoo on it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shampoo. So I wonder how much these are going for.
That is a lot of shampoo. And let me tell you, I'm not putting this, if this is a glass bottle, I'm not putting glass bottles in my shower.
No,
You
no, they're
know?
so beautiful though.
They are so beautiful. I could almost see if like you use these to make your bathroom look more high end.
Mm,
Like they're more decorative,
yes,
maybe.
yeah.
But like, and then like also you spent so much money on all this stuff that you don't actually want to use it. So it just sits on the
Yeah.
bathroom shelf and it continues to make your bathroom look high end. And when somebody comes over and is like, ooh, what's this? You're like, I don't use that one. Like, yeah, we save it
I
for
use that one.
special occasions.
The
Yeah.
scenario I have is like, okay, you got your robe on, you got your candles lit, your bathtub is filling up, and as it's filling up, you're pulling like a bottle and like dripping just a little bit of that, put the bottle back on the shelf, get another bottle, drip a little bit of that. And so it's like you're concocting your own little spell, your own little bath magic.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, glass bottles, not safe to be anywhere near or around your tub or shower. So, yeah, I would maybe leave it out by the sink area because, like, my sink area is not even by my bathtub. I know some
Hmm.
people's bathrooms are smaller and, they're right next to each other, but
Hmm.
I usually keep all of my bath products. I have a shelf that runs alongside of my sink, so I put all of my, like, little bath salts and, like, little vials and lotions and potions on that shelf. And when I go take my bath, I, like, put a little dab in there. So,
Hmm.
yeah. But these jars are so pretty though. I'm like, what is in that green one? Can you see what that label says? I can't make out what that
The
says.
small green one,
Yeah.
something water.
Water? Like rose water maybe?
Oh, maybe, yeah. Or Florida water.
Yeah, it does look like it says water. I hope she's not just selling water in those jars for that price
Like
point.
Evian bottles.
Yeah. Yeah, so the only close-up label that I was able to find, and again, I don't know if this was a replica made by a fan or if
Mhm.
this is actually, a prop from the film, but it says Verbena in the big letters on top and then the smaller letters underneath, Botanicals, and then it says Lily soap. And then on the
Aren't lilies
bottom,
poisonous?
yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it just smells like lilies. Maybe she's not
Okay.
actually using lilies. Maybe she's using like some kind of like a scented oil that,
Yeah.
makes it smell good like that. Maybe artificially formulated in a lab, I don't know. I'm sure Sally doesn't do that. I'm sure she handcrafts everything.
In a lab.
I don't know,
Well,
but like
Franny is very science forward, so I'm sure they have like in the greenhouse we see all those glass beakers and the Bunsen burners, and like she can whip up whatever she wants.
and what else did we say? She had that stuff that makes you pass out.
Oh, what is that called?
Right? I can't think of it. What is it called? I'm blanking.
Chloroform.
Chloroform. Yes, thank you.
Chloroform.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it also has got the chloroform, the ether. She had like a whole bunch of random shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Franny is the science behind the operation and Sally just picks the stuff and mixes the stuff. Who knows? But yeah, Lily, if that is poisonous, I don't know why they're making a soap with it.
I love the labels because they have, the verbena all caps, and then they have like a pressed flower of some kind, or like the leaf. I'm wondering if that three petaled leaf is a verbena leaf, or not,
Oh,
because on the taller white bottle, the opaque bottle, it's different. It looks like more like a fern,
okay.
but it just looks like a rubbing almost. And then that jar, the little squatty, there's a squatty square jar. It has a different label on it. All I
Oh,
can
yeah.
make out around the neck is ENZA.
Okay.
You see that? And then it looks like it says sweet pea. So maybe those are sweet pea petals for like potpourri or
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at that one now. Yeah, it looks like this other photo with the other bottles around the poster for Practical Magic and the other little picture of the house. By the way, I know everybody's like, what are they looking at? Guys, check out our show notes over on our Patreon. All the photos that we're talking about today are will be on our show notes so you can see more visually what we're talking about. Whoever took this picture, I don't know if they just printed out these labels themselves or are these actual like movie props, you know?
this looks like it would be in the like in the not town hall, but like the visitor center, because right
Oh,
beside it you can see some posters, probably like this is what our town is known for.
it does say, look at the top left, it says museum.
Uh-huh. There you go.
So maybe, yeah, maybe this was on display. Maybe these were the actual props for the film.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah,
if I was this person, I would have like zoomed my camera in and like taken a picture of every single label.
but how old is this? You remember our cameras, even our film cameras from 10 years ago?
Yeah.
God,
Yeah,
unreal.
yeah. So if this is displayed somewhere in Coopville, maybe I don't know where this
You
would be
know who
displayed.
we could ask to get a picture?
The Chamber of Commerce.
Coopville Waterfront. Yeah, and Coopville Chamber. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce usually they help out like the local businesses and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm sure somebody could probably get a better photo of this if this is in Coopville at a
Let's ask
some
them. Hey,
yeah,
we
some
were doing research. We just are curious.
yeah,
Yeah.
some
But
kind of
we
museum.
also have our very own verbena design. I had put this together. I can't find my Teespring anymore. This has been over on
Yeah.
my like personal broom closet or Seca Artistry Teespring. Can't fucking
Yeah.
find it. So I am putting it on Magnolia Streets, but we have our very own verbena apothecary design. And it just has in like a half arch over the top says Verbena Apothecary, and it features a little hand drawn apothecary jar, and it has this like bubbling black belladonna inside. And then
Ooh,
as it's growing out of the mouth of the jar, it turns into this full botanical belladonna plant.
that is
And
badass.
then, yeah, flanking the bottle, it says EST, established 1998. Underneath, then it says Owen Sisters. And underneath that, in a little script, it says there's a little witch in all of us. So it's on bags, it's on clutches, it's on t-shirts and sweatshirts of different colors, and I think it's even on a pillow. So I love this design. I think it's so cool. I love a black and white, and it's like a cross hatching, cross etched design. So check that out. That's over on our Teespring. You can find the link over on our Instagram in our link tree.
Very pretty. I love that. Spinning off of some other Verbena apothecary or Verbena botanical inspired stuff, there's an account on Facebook by the name of Ma's Dollhouse that did a miniature recreation of Sally's Verbena botanical shop, and they posted this picture on June 3rd, 2019, and we'll post this over on the Patreon in our show notes if you guys want to take a look at this. But if not, just go search Sally's Verbena Botanical Shop, Ma's Dollhouse, and it should come up in the Google
That's
image.
adorable. It's so
So cute.
cute. They have a set of stairs in it.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah, there's
wonder,
like
that's interesting. I wonder if the because they have like the kind of a bigger roof. I wonder if the backside of this dollhouse in the roof there's like a bedroom or something they also included. That's
yeah.
cool.
So there's the ladder on the right-hand side that Carla would be stepping on to get all the stuff on the top
Mhm.
shelf, and the little window ledge on the left-hand side where Jillian would be, testing the merchandise. Yeah.
So, as most of you know, I play around in The Sims 4 and I like to recreate the whole Magnolia Street Owens world. And I did do the Verbena Botanical Shop. And
Ooh.
I have the footage. So, for our patrons over on our $8 tier and up, I'm going to be putting together a little video so you can see Sally in her shop. This actually almost broke my computer because of the amount of little bottles. Just, if you zoom in, like I have the shelves, I have the little scales that sit on the like checkout counter. I have a little, if you zoom in, you can see a little coffee cup. You can see her bags and the what do you call it? Like cash, not a cash register, like the
Um,
cash box.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's kind of like a little coffee station in the very last picture. There's a tiny little greenhouse thing in the background that I figured they would have coffee, a little tea, you can walk around and enjoy. So I'll put this together and y'all can see this little shop over on our Patreon. And it's like in
So
the
cute.
harbor town. So right behind it is the ocean
Yeah.
and boats and like different harbor things moving around. It's really cute.
So you made a video of everything like moving around and how the Sally interacts with everything in real time?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it together. I have the footage, I haven't edited it, but it will go over on the Patreon when it's done.
I hope your computer doesn't explode.
I know. It'll
Putting
be
that
fine. Yeah.
together. Okay, that is so cute. I love all the little worlds you create on The Sims. I
Thank
wish I could
you.
live in there forever. You know, Avi just told me because he's building his PC. He's like, I kind of want to download The Sims. Like,
Oh my God.
asshole. I want The Sims. I have and I don't know. Do they make it for Mac? Do they make it?
Mm, I don't remember. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I thought it was a PC thing, but I guess I'll have to look into that. But
They probably, oh, do you use Steam, right? You can use Steam?
I have an account. I've never used it to play games.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I know you can get it on there, but
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God. I
I
hope he
need
does because he's one I feel like would start getting into like making your own custom content and then using like the graphics to like morph and mesh and all that stuff. He would do all that.
definitely. I mean, yeah, he's an engineer. He loves putting shit together and figuring out how things work.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he would like all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'll let you know if he ends up downloading that.
Okay.
The next thing on this list is this content creator on YouTube. Her name is Crafting with Indie Annie Jones.
Cute. Which is funny because we just talked about Indiana
I
Jones.
know. I know we did. And she's got this video called Verbena Beauty Products Are Practical Magic. And it's just her and her friend putting these lotions and potions together. I don't know if they were inspired by the film. Like, I kind of watched a little bit of the video to see if they were going to make like a mint oatmeal shaving cream or something of the sort. But yeah, I don't remember what they put together. But I remember like having this on in the background while I was working on show notes, and I just hear a glass break and they both start laughing. She like, yeah, it's just sounded like this video sounded like chaos. So go watch it, please. It's just them making Bath and Body products and then they break something.
Oh
So
Lord. Okay.
it's pretty funny.
Cool.
So go check that out. And yeah, I'll put all these links too over on the hero page if anybody wants to see all the stuff we're talking about.
All right.
And you know what I did have on here? I was just talking about the letterhead. Oh, you know what? I don't think I took a picture with my phone. I don't think I ever loaded it onto the notes. I was talking about the letterhead to her stationery, her Verbena
Mm-hmm.
Apothecary letterhead, which is really pretty. It's like a V inside of a B,
Mm-hmm. That's
right?
cool. I like that.
Yeah, and that's the letter that Gary ultimately ends up finding. So, and also, since Michael is so intertwined, like his spirit is intertwined with the shop, do you think he brought Gary to Sally?
I think
Or
Jimmy was
like,
killing people, and Gary was trying to find Jimmy.
well, Jimmy was killing people, but that's ultimately not what brought Gary. He was like, no, it was your letter,
Yeah, I wonder how he got on that case. You
right?
think the letter came first, or you think Jimmy came first?
Well, I think Jamie came first, and I think just him finding letter, because if you remember what happened in the books, right? He goes to Jimmy's apartment, they're not there, but he finds Sally's
Yes.
letter, so he reads it.
He's just hanging out on the porch. That's a weird scene to
Isn't
me.
that
He's just
weird?
chilling. All
That is
right,
a
yeah,
weird.
let's get into the books.
All right, yeah. So both Vervain and Verbena make appearances in the books. And I wasn't really conscious when I was doing the show notes of like why Alice would have used them interchangeably or not just stuck with one or the other.
Okay.
And I'm thinking maybe it does have to do with what we said about Verbena before and why it has two different names. Maybe she uses Verbena in the story as, just talking about the plant, and then maybe she uses Vervain to more talk about medicinal and, magical uses.
Okay.
So let's just let's see
Feel
if
it
we
out.
can feel it out as we go through these. Okay. So the first book, we're going to start chronologically. This is Magic Lessons, Maria's story, and this starts on page 12. Hannah scanned the pages of her book filled with remedies and spells, careful to take note of the potions and powders that were prescribed, amulets of apple seeds and menstrual blood, doses of henbane that could bind a couple together, or if used in excess could cause delirium or death, the heart of a deer or a dove that brought about devotion even in the most feckless and untrustworthy of men, and fragrant verbena, which depending on its use and what the user desired could bring a man to you or cause him to be impotent. Remember one thing, Hannah told Maria, always love someone who will love you back. I guess fragrant verbena, she's probably talking about the plant, so that makes sense. Page 296. Rosemary and lavender oil would give a person willpower, and break a simple hex, one must use salt, coconut oil, lavender, lemon juice, and lemon verbena.
I love lemon verbena. Oh,
Yeah,
so much, so
it
much.
smells very good. I can't remember if the one in my garden was lemon. I think it was just common verbena. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Um, on page 386, the original shed had been attached to a glass greenhouse so that herbs could be grown all year long, even in the dead of winter. Behind the foggy windows, there were pots filled with lemon balm, lemon verbena, and lemon thyme. And that was it for the verbena mentions in magic lessons. And now Alice switches over to vervain.
Okay.
So on page 24, it says, it was the sort of recipe one could add to however one saw fit. Mistletoe for those who wish for children, vervain to escape one's enemies, black mustard seed to repel nightmares, lilac for love. On page 44, for love gone wrong, vervain eases the pain of unrequited love. A cobweb on a door means your beloved has been untrue. To bring about passion, anise seed, burdock root, myrtle leaves. On page 169, Maria gathered barley and vervain from her garden to boil, then wrapped the mixture in a white cloth to place on the man's forehead. She said words in a language he didn't recognize, both forward and backwards, it seemed. He could not keep his eyes open, and he slept all night in the barn with the goats, without nightmare or dreams. So there it seems like she's using it more medicinally, but it says she gets it from her garden, but it doesn't refer to it getting from her garden as verbena.
The vervain is more tied to like the magical uses, and the verbena is like, okay, here's where they grew it. But then
Okay.
on 296, to break a hex, she uses it. She uses lemon verbena to break a hex. So I don't know. I
Right,
think she's just
yeah.
going back and forth.
Right. Okay. I wonder, do you think Alice knows the difference between that it's the same thing? Do you think she knows?
Don't know.
Because the Yarrow debate, right?
Yarrow, yeah, debatable.
The Yarrow debate. All right, so page 252. Maria turned to the book, reading the grimoire for hours, trying every remedy that might help the old man regain his vitality. Vervain, feverfew, nightshade, horehound syrup, none of it worked. As Abraham's condition worsened, Maria was willing to delve into the darker magic that practitioners of the nameless art were taught to avoid, though she could find no death spells in the grimoire. On page 314, before they'd gone to bed, Faith had whispered she would leave something for Elizabeth that might be useful in the rear of the garden. She'd kept her word. There between the neat rows of rosemary and cabbages was an amulet for Elizabeth to wear close to her heart. Inside the velvet pouch was powdered vervain, used in dark acts of magic, and a slip of black rope tied into knots to protect her 3 times. A note had been written upon black paper and red ink that disappeared as soon as it was read. Travel well, trust no one. So yeah, there it is used. Vervain is used again as in spell work. All right, so we're gonna move on to practical magic. In the first few pages, where it gives the praise for the book, on page 13 it says, "A delicious fantasy of witchcraft and love in a world where gardens smell of lemon verbena and happy endings are possible." And that was submitted to, I guess, the book by Cosmopolitan magazine. And then on page 22, this is in the actual story now. It says, the girl from the drugstore snapped when she heard that. She grabbed for Jillian and flung her arm forward, but it was Sally she'd slapped. She struck her so hard that Sally lurched backward and trampled the rosemary and the verbena. Page 25. During the summer when Jillian was 16, the entire varsity football team spent every single Saturday in the aunt's garden. There they could be found, all in a row, hulking and silent and madly in love, pulling weeds between the rows of nightshade and verbena, careful to avoid the scallions, which were so scorchingly potent, they burned the skin right off any boy's fingers if he wasn't paying attention. Page 62. She gets things done, and done on time. Still, she often dreams of the aunt's garden. In the farthest corner there was lemon verbena, lemon thyme, and lemon balm. When Sally sat there cross-legged and closed her eyes, the citrus scent was so rich she sometimes got dizzy.
I love that passage. Later, we're going
Yeah,
to talk about what we grow, and this really stuck out to me. And I always wanted like a lemon corner. I
right.
just think that would smell so heavenly. Oh my God.
Really, yeah, it really would. And I've grown lemon balm in my garden before as far as like herbs to use. So yeah, that was it for practical magic. There's no mentions of vervain, so that was it for the verbena mentions. And I'm kind of starting to get a picture now of why the writers of the film would have named Sally's shop Verbena, if not the Michael thing, because that's just me being theoretical, right?
Yeah.
The whole Egypt Osiris connection, that's just me. But I think that the writers might have included verbena because Alice mentions it as being used in the aunt's garden, and while we don't see it used in the aunt's garden in the film, maybe they just figured, okay, well, since we're not gonna like show it visually, maybe
Mm-hmm.
we'll use it as a name to represent its mentions in the book,
Yeah.
or like a nod to the books. So that's the only other thing that I can think of.
Yeah.
But even in the books, it's not really mentioned that much. There's like what, one, two, three. There's 4 mentions of verbena in the first book,
Yeah.
and that was the only book that was out when the movie came out. So
Could
That's
you
awesome.
imagine if we were hired? The amount, the levels, and the layers, the onion we would create with this movie.
Amazing. I love that for
This
us.
means this, but it also, did you know it means this? Oh my God.
We'll roll up to the production team meeting, like with our Phyllis glasses on, and go, actually, we have a podcast, so we know.
The amount of pages, PDF pages we have accumulated are in the thousands. So we just show up with this massive chunk
Uh-huh.
of work. Boom. Y'all, we have the information you need.
This is the manuscript right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yo, if we printed out all of our show notes, that would be a chonky book.
I'm telling you, even I think I was trying to do it for season one. It was in the thousands.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Just for season one. Yeah, we'll have to have like a compendium for each season because
Can
all of
someone
our,
do this for us? We'll take
yeah,
volunteers, please.
it would be amazing to see all of our body of work like in your hands.
I
To
know.
visually what that looked like, that would be
That's
insane.
why I thought it would be such a good thing for our patrons to have, because that's what I had always wanted listening to other witchy podcasts. I'm like, I want something that I can like pull from, copy and paste, put in my own grimoire, adjust it how I want it. But like the information's there. We're doing the research for you.
Yeah. I wonder, is anybody listening in, just, shout us out on social media. Let us know. Do you print out our show notes? Do you use them in your own magical studies?
Is it just
I
us?
thought, is it just us? Like, I really want to know, like, are people actually using our show notes how we intended for them to be used? Or are they just like kind of like falling into some kind of digital limbo that no,
Yeah.
they're never going to be used or sourced from
A
again?
digital
I don't
black void. If
know.
anything, we're organizing Alice Hoffman's topic list. We're what her what's it called? Dictionary.
Oh yeah, yeah, like a glossary, not a glossary, an encyclopedia basically of,
Yes.
yeah, okay. We need to hit up a publisher and be like, "Listen, we run a podcast, all the research is done. We want to put out the first ever practical magic encyclopedia of that world." Wouldn't that be sick?
But we have so many topics. It would have to be like edition one, two, three, four, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It is a lot. It's so much research. We talked about snakes for 5 hours.
Rules of Magic.
Anyway, going on to Rules of Magic, this starts on page 51, talking about Verbena. Though Aunt Isabel had a sober expression, Vincent could tell his exploits were a source of amusement for her. She turned her back while he dressed, then brought him out to the greenhouse, where there were dusty pots of Spanish garlic and rosemary. In a corner, there grew lemon thyme and lemon balm and lemon verbena. Vincent had already broken in and explored, and it was here that he and April had often come to smoke marijuana. Page 63. When the girls came home sweating through their woolen dresses, Isabel offered them advice, along with glasses of lemonade flavored with verbena. Avoid local people, she said simply. They never understood us, and they never will.
It's just Justina's motto.
Am I Isabel?
Avoid local people.
Am I Aunt Isabel? And lemon verbena lemonade sounds amazing.
It sounds really good.
On page 159, for the carpenter who built shelves, the sisters concocted a hex breaker composed of salt, coconut oil, lavender, lemon juice, and lemon verbena. It just sounds like a salt scrub to me.
That's a reuse too from the other book we just talked about.
Okay. Oh, okay. If he gave the mixture to the ex-client who was bad-mouthing him, the slanderer would fall silent. So they seem to use that one a lot. On page 318, Jet remembered how much she had enjoyed puttering in the garden when she began working there again. Everything flourished under her touch. She planted spring onions and mint and cabbages and rue and basil and Spanish garlic. She put in lemon thyme, lemon balm, lemon verbena, foxgloves, and zinnias, making sure to plant rosemary and lavender by the back door where it had grown when Isabel was there. Okay, so she's planting foxgloves, which is highly poisonous, by the way, by the stuff that she uses in her herbal remedies.
I don't know if it said that they're planted in the same place. It just says she's planting them.
Okay, all right, yeah. Like, oh my gosh, she's planting. Well, you never know.
Good looking out.
There's yarrow in the poison garden. All right, that's all the mentions for Verbena for that book, and now we're moving on to the Vervain in that book, and we're still in Rules of Magic. So there's only 2 mentions of these. So on page 159, things without all remedy should be without regard, but what you can cure, do so willingly. What ails the human body and soul may be difficult to diagnose, but just as often there is a simple resolution: black pepper for aching muscles, linden root and yarrow for pressure, feverfew for migraines, ginger for motion sickness, watercress to ease labored breathing, vervain Vervain to quiet the pangs of unrequited love. All right, and she also said unrequited love, I think, in magic lessons, right?
Okay.
In reference to the Vervain. And then on page 220, it says, as a girl, April couldn't wait to leave home, yet now she favored wildflowers that could be found when traipsing through the woods in Massachusetts. Sunflower, wild bean, wintergreen, blue flag used for skin conditions, blue vervain for headache and fever, cardinal plant appreciated by the native people as a love charm. Blue vervain, is that something different than regular vervain? I don't know that one. All right.
Blue Vervain? Oh, yeah. No, what is that? I don't know.
Okay, that was all the mentions for Rules of Magic. And now, lastly, we're going to move on to Book of Magic. There is actually no mention of Verbena in Book of Magic. And we have one mention of Vervain, and that is on page 321, and that says, Margaret was seeing to the ill who had gathered in the pub, providing glasses of water mixed with mint and vervain to cool fevers. And I guess that was when, was his name Tom Laughlin? Said on the black, the plague of the red rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like breaking out into those fevers. So was Margaret Ian's mother, or was that the bartender that was helping to?
I think it's Ian's mom. Mom's.
Yeah. So it was just used, the vervain was used to cool the fevers of that plague. That was it for the books. So I guess let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll do our card pull, and then we'll get into all the botany, the lore, the magic, and we'll talk a little bit about using verbena in our own gardens. We'll be right back. Hey little witches, Justina here, calling all practical magic fans and music lovers. This fall, get ready for something truly spellbinding from the Stinas. Christina and I started Magnolia Street Podcast as a way to share our original music inspired by our favorite movie, Practical Magic. We've been hard at work in the recording studio since September, brewing up our 5-song debut EP, Magnolia Street Volume 1.
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you go down to Magnolia Street where the wisteria grow wild? At the house of magic and mystery, so would you go down to Magnolia Street?
If you want the inside scoop on our music and the stories behind each song, join our Rose tier on Patreon for just $8 a month and dive into exclusive content from our songisodes. Plus, bonus content from our highly anticipated upcoming EP. On there, you'll find lyric sheets, original demos, behind-the-scenes videos from the studio, blog posts, production notes, and more. Don't miss out on the magic. Keep up to date with us on our Instagram at Magnolia Street Podcast for all of our music news and be a part of our musical journey. The Stinas are bringing practical magic to life, one song at a time, right here on Magnolia Street.
You dare go down to Magnolia Street. Magnolia Street.
Hey little witches, the Stinas here. If you've been listening to our podcast for a while, you would know how much we love using the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle deck by Grounded by the Moon.
And now we want to share the magic of Grounded by the Moon with you, our listeners. Joseph Benitez Egerton, the creator behind Grounded by the Moon, would like to offer this very special 10% off discount to all who wish to experience the magic of his Practical Magic themed tarot and oracle decks.
But that's not all. He also creates other divination tools like tarot workbooks, deck bags and altar cloths, pendulum kits, oil blends, cleansing sprays, smoke wands, teas, and ritual kits.
And let's not forget about his custom handcrafted all-natural soy candles, where every candle is hand-poured and personally infused and charged under the light of the moon. They even come with a crystal.
And did we mention all of the ingredients in the candles are ethically sourced?
All of Joseph's offerings are just so magical. So go visit groundedbythemoon.com and use the coupon code MAGNOLIAMAGIC for 10% off your entire order at checkout.
That's MAGNOLIAMAGIC. So get your discount today.
You're listening to the Magnolia Street Podcast. My dyslexia, did you see it show up?
You're like,
in the notes? No, just now in the notes I had put something there.
oh, was it the Valerian?
Yeah.
Wait, so is there no vervain in that deck? Not at all? Okay.
Yeah.
Not even verbena? Nothing?
Mm-mm. That was the only V card. Your V card.
Um, hold on. I have this not to cheat on Joseph or anything, but I have another deck that it's called the Herbal Astrology Oracle.
Oh, we
I,
used that one before.
yeah, I'm not sure if there's verbena in here. Let me just see real quick.
If it's relevant, it's relevant.
Yeah, if it's relevant, we'll talk about it. Yeah, I don't see any verbena or vervain. Oh, wait, no, I did the same thing. Valerian root. No,
Yeah.
that's not the same thing. Okay, so Valerian seems way more common than verbena, so yeah, no. Nothing in here. So I guess we'll just do our regular card pull from our Inner Witch Oracle from Grounded by the Moon. Get 10% off your entire purchase over there, groundedbythemoon.com, if you use our coupon code Magnolia Magic. So let me shuffle up, I guess. I guess. Let's see what we come up with here, because there is no Vervain or Verbena in this deck. So curious as to what we'll pull. Maybe it'll be another one that we haven't.
Watch it be Valerian.
Well, I'm using the Oracle, not the
Okay.
yeah. What's the other one? Herbology and Garden Magic deck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna shuffle. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
What is that? The salts. Release.
Okay.
All right. So that means. All right. So the keywords on this card is release and confront. If spilled salt shows up in your reading, it's telling you to be aware of the evils that may be trying to creep into your life. Take time to confront this issue or person. Don't allow yourself to be held down to people or things that are not beneficial to you. Take control, confront, and release these energies from your life. Salt has great magical benefits. It's a natural connection to the element of earth, and also the witch's go-to for protection. You definitely want this in your cabinet. Utilize the power of this natural magical tool. With infused salt in hand, cast over your shoulder to rid this unwanted evil from your life. And the mantra on this card is just simply blessed be.
Oh, I love it.
Blessed be.
I mean, if she's using vervain in hex breaking, I mean, I could go along with some salt. You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, to connect this back to the lemon verbena or the vervain, you can do like a little salt mixture with some verbena from your garden. And yeah. And what else did it say? We're gonna get into like all the spiritual meanings in a little bit. So I guess whatever you want to use it for, I think salt is pretty versatile, right? You could add anything to it and you can use it for whatever you need it for. Basically, it's like the clear quartz point of the
It's your white candle.
yeah, exactly. Use it for everything and put it everywhere. Let's get into some botany.
So you had said earlier blue vervain, which neither of us knew. Apparently, like any flower probably has a bunch of different little subflowers, little species. So we have some photos here. There's common verbena, purple top vervain, which most of these are purple. There's some orange, there's some white. There's blue vervain. Oh my God. Blue vervain, garden verbena, garden regita, which sounds like Regita from like Sound of Music. White vervain, Brazilian vervain, Verbena bracteatia, Western vervain, Verbena californica, and Verbena menthifolia. So
beautiful.
I wonder which one lemon verbena falls under.
Right. Yeah. All right. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna look at lemon. I'm wondering what that looked like. Okay, that doesn't even look like anything that we just talked about.
Really?
So apparently, yeah. So when I typed in lemon verbena into Google, it came up as Aloysia citrodora.
Okay.
And this is a species of flowering plant in the verbena family, Verbenaceae. This one's native to South America. Other common names include lemon bee brush, and it was brought to Europe by the Spanish and the Portuguese
in
the 7th century and cultivated for its oil. So what's this fucking Samuel Diaz? That's maybe why the aunts have that so much in their garden, because
it's gotta be my favorite. So it has white flowers, which I didn't know because mine doesn't. We'll talk about it shortly. Mine hasn't flowered yet because it was not happy. So you said most of this earlier. So the Verbenaceae family contains 150 species of annual and perennial, which all right, it's dipping its toe in both sides of herbaceous or semi-woody flowering plants, and the majority of the species are native to the Americas and Asia. However, Verbena officinalis, the common vervain or common verbena, is a type of species and is native to Europe. The leaves are usually opposite, simple, in many species hairy, often densely so. The flowers are small with 5 petals, like a pentagram,
Oh.
and borne in dense spikes, typically some shade of blue. They may also be white, pink, or purple, especially in cultivars. What is this? The garden verbena is like bright fire truck red.
Yeah, that's the one that I had in my garden.
I'm sure the pollinators love it.
Yeah. The thing that sucks though, I didn't realize that in my zone anyway, it's not a perennial, so it doesn't come back. So that kind of sucks. So like I have to replant the verbena every year.
Maybe it's just that species because there are perennial ones.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I didn't realize there were so many types of verbena though. Like I just saw it in my garden center. I was like, "Oh, that's verbena." I've heard the name because of Practical Magic, and I was
Yeah.
like, I never even knew what it looked like. And then I saw it in my garden center, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna add that to my garden because Practical Magic, duh. But
Yeah.
I didn't know there were so many. I'm just learning this. I'm today years old.
We
when
didn't
I
even know it was Vervain.
yeah,
We
you're
gotta
less
get our
than a
witch
minute.
card revoked. I feel like if we did a little more research, there's probably like a Jersey species that would like to be housed where you live.
Like a perennial, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look for one maybe this year. Now that I know that there's all different kinds and I don't have to just I mean, but the one that I planted in my garden is very beautiful. Like it's got really beautiful green foliage and the blooms on them are just so bright. And I wouldn't say they're very fragrant. They are very pretty and they look very whimsical around all my little mushroom statues.
I love your little mushrooms. I just saw your photos. Those are so cute.
Are they cute? Yeah.
Some species, hybrids, and cultivars of verbena are used in like ornamental planting. So they are drought resistant, tolerating full to partial sun, and enjoy well draining average soils. Plants are usually grown from seed. Some species and hybrids are not hardy and are treated as half hardy annuals in bedding schemes. They are valued in butterfly gardens in suitable climates, attracting Lepidoptera. Wait.
Lepidoptera.
Lepidoptera.
Coleoptera.
Yeah. So, like, I guess a certain type of butterfly, as like the hummingbird hawk moth, chocolate albatross, also another kind of butterfly, perhaps, and the pipe vine swallowtail.
These just
Also,
sound like band names.
yeah.
Chocolate albatross? What is that?
Hummingbirds love it, especially, the regular officinalis, which is also grown as a honey plant.
Oh,
Wonder what
okay.
that means.
Yeah.
So, how are you going to grow this? Typically, you're going to want to choose a site with good air circulation that receives at least 6 to 8 hours of full sun a day. This can depend on what zone you're in. Also, following these steps, you're going to want to space these out like 12 to 18 inches apart, depending on the variety. They can get kind of big. So, you're going to loosen the soil in the planting area to about 6 inches to a full foot. Loosen that soil up, loosen the roots if it's pop out. And you can start these inside as seed. I don't know about direct sowing these. I didn't find that information. So set the plant in the hole with the top of the root ball level with the surrounding soil. Fill it back up. You're gonna just remove any air pockets. Water regularly until the plant is established. Verbena thrives in soil amended with compost, but can adapt to many soil types as long as there is good drainage. Compacted or clay soil can lead to root rot. So verbena does best in moderate moist soil but can tolerate some drought. Too much water can result in root rot or mildew. Provide regular water and allow the soil to dry out between waterings. Irrigate more frequently during prolonged heat or dry spells. Leaves should be harvested before the flowers are open. The root can be dug up after the plant dies back in the fall. So I guess you can move it around if you need to. You might find a happier home for it somewhere else in your yard. And the herb is best used fresh, but may also be hung to dry in a dark, well-ventilated place.
Yeah. You have grown verbena in your garden?
I have, yes. I only have the lemon verbena, and it's sensational.
Is it?
Is so nice. I went out there and gave it a little hug today. I included a little picture. It's kind of leggy because, as you said, it's also called bee brush. And I learned down here in zone 8A, it likes a little bit of shade in the afternoon because that sun is hard. So mine was struggling where it was planted. I think I had it for about 2 years. So over this winter, I dug it up and put it in the greenhouse, and it seems to be much happier. It's actually, it has more than 6 leaves on it. Yeah, like the verbena and my lemon balm seem to be doing much better in pots. It could just be where they were located. It got too much sun. Like I said, I just wanted a whole section of lemon scented herbs. Again, it's not flowered, but now I know to look for white flowers when it does. I hope it's feeling better this year. I'm kind of just wanting to keep it in a pot for now and get it like really established because as you can see from this picture, it's kind of leggy. And I
Yeah.
know it can like really bush out.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
so sad. It has like one little trunk.
Yo, that must smell so amazing to have like a whole section of lemon stuff in one spot. It's
Yeah.
like citrus all up in your face,
I know.
every direction.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing though. I'm really partial to like the lemon scented. Like I grew lemon thyme in my raised garden bed and then I had lemon balm going and I had lemongrass going. It's like I love all the lemon stuff too. But I didn't know, again, I didn't know that lemon verbena was different than like your regular common verbena. It's a completely
No
different
idea.
species, I guess. I actually grew the, what did I say? The garden verbena with the bright red flower petals. I also had one that was pink, and then I also found one that was white. And I don't know because I grew my pink and my red ones toward the front of the house, and the white ones I put in the back. I think those died. And those I kept in the pot. So I guess it didn't like the pot, but it loved it in the ground. Like once I put it in the ground, it flourished. And I put it right next to, I had a lavender plant there as well and yarrow. So I had my lavender, my yarrow, and my verbena all in kind of one little cluster. And they all did so well together. They played very well in the sandbox, I must say.
Even just looking at the leaf shapes of the regular Verbena officinalis and then the lemon verbena, what I'm holding, they're different. They're like the leaf structure and everything is so different.
Yes, totally different. Yeah, it's very weird. So I don't, okay, so this year I'm gonna have to look for lemon verbena in my garden centers and see if they have that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they were two different things. So I just have a couple little mushroom statues and I have some gnomes and I have a little frog sitting on a rock that says welcome to my garden.
I
and
love your little statues. They're so
my
cute.
verbenas all around there. I just bought, Dollar Tree has some great stuff for spring. They have like the little cement and glass mushrooms and they have little gnome houses. They also have those little plaques that say welcome to my garden and like butterflies on them and like
Oh,
they have so much cute stuff for the garden for really cheap.
did
So
you send this to me?
no.
I don't know who sent this to me. I have like a decal. Fresh herbs is one, and it's like oregano, rosemary, basil, thyme. And then on the bottom, there's another one that says mercantile. Who? If it was you, listener, please tell me so I can thank you properly. But I wanted to say, like the little signs, they're really cute.
Yeah.
Your little frog statue here reminded me that I saw this really cute video of how to take probably like the terracotta pots, and she had painted them like mushrooms, and she made it like a little toad home. And like a little dish of water outside, and I want to make little toad homes around my garden because they're all over the place, and you got to go very slowly down the stairs, and Diggity finds them right away, just like the snake. Diggity found a snake the other day.
By the way, you completely like ignored my stupid joke.
What did you say?
When you texted me, you were like, look at this guy. You were like, he's called the California King. I was like, oh, he must think he's so important they named mattresses after him.
I didn't see that. I didn't even see that. I'm so sorry.
You totally blew it off. I was like, all right, I guess that wasn't that funny.
See it now. I'm sorry because I scrolled right to you are not a dumpster fire, your majestic dumpster garden. I'm so sorry. That was
So
cute.
funny.
That was cute.
No, I guess that wasn't that funny. I guess I'll shut up.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So, lemon verbena. Oh, wait, we talked about that already. So, Aloysia citrodora is a flowering shrub used in medicine, food, and perfumery. Do you use it for, what do you use the lemon verbena for? Do you just like its smell?
I haven't used them for anything. Even
Okay.
the like lemon thyme. I don't really cook with thyme, and the bee balm or not. What is the other one?
Lemon
Lemon
balm?
balm.
Yeah.
I don't do anything with it. I'm like, this would be really good in like a mojito.
Ooh, yeah. No, you're right. I also plant my lemon balm, like I have in little pots in my backyard, and I do usually keep that around my other types of mint.
Mhm.
And when we get mint, we go balls to the wall with the mint. We do like the chocolate mint, we do the mojito mint, your basic ass mint, peppermint.
You need a cold frame. Do you buy that every year?
Yeah.
Girl.
Well, the mint comes back. The mint comes back.
Okay, okay, good.
Yeah. You were saying I don't know what to use it for. I don't know what to use the lemon verbena for because I've never grown the lemon verbena, so I don't know. But the lemon balm, I've used that in like fruit salads. It's really good. It adds like a nice like lemony scent, but like a minty lemony to the salad. I usually make like an orange salad and I'll sprinkle it on top with like
You're so fancy.
it sounds like really like it shouldn't go together, but like my dad's been making this. It's like a Sicilian orange salad. You like cut up your oranges, put them on a plate, make it real pretty, and then you put like olive oil, salt, pepper, which sounds like it shouldn't go on oranges, right? It is so good. And then you sprinkle some pinoli nuts on top, and then you could either garnish with like a mint or a lemon balm.
I'm so hungry now. That
So
sounds
for
awesome.
and then the other thing you said thyme. You said you don't use thyme for anything. Chicken, roasted chicken. Throw in a whole cut a whole sprig of that shit. Throw it in the pan, throw it in the pot, and let it slow roast with some lemon slices.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So good. You could even like add some sage or some bay leaves or like it just gives it like a really nice woody flavor if you're like into like the soups and the stews. And they're hearty. So like my time usually lasts in the garden until like the first frost. Like
Yeah.
up until like maybe the end of October, early November, like it'll hang on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can use it in my fall, my autumn soups and my stews. And it's so good and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you have that, use it. Use it.
I'm
Just sprinkle-
hungry. Stop
I
it.
Me too.
Well, talking
Okay.
about foods, let me skip. I'm going to jump around here.
Okay.
So for what are we talking about? Vervain, verbena, good
Mhm.
for herbal teas. Used to make caffeine-free herbal teas, beverage flavoring. It can be used in desserts like cookies, in salad dressings, and in cocktails. It also can be used in medicine, I guess, digestive health, used to treat indigestion, bloating, constipation, and other digestive issues. Stress and anxiety, need that. See, I keep getting distracted with the lemon verbena. I'm like, okay, if it's like lemon scented, I'm feeling like everything's clean and I'm less stressed because I don't have to clean. That's where I
Right.
was going.
I like that.
It can be used in pain relief, reduce pain and discomfort, particularly in conditions like arthritis. I need to wrap my ankle in that.
Oh, yeah.
Skin health, it can be used to protect and nourish the skin and reduce signs of aging.
Yeah, maybe that's why the aunts don't age. Maybe they include some of that awesome lemon verbena into their black soap. Some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump around a little more because we were talking about skincare. I went and grabbed this book I have called Natural Beauty Skincare by Deborah Burns.
Okay.
And it's big. It's a pretty big book. And I only got it because I was like, I love, what
Yeah.
Sally was trying to do. So I have a few things tabbed, but I wanted to look real quick if there was anything in the index under V, which there is not for verbena or
Oh.
vervain, which sucks, but it does have like sections on how to prep, like getting stocked up on like what you're going to need, like little jars and bottles and disinfecting things. And then it has recipes for face, beauty, your hair, and potpourri. So again, that's Natural Beauty Skincare by Deborah Burns. Cool
I feel
book.
like verbena, vervain always get the shaft. It's always upstaged by like valerian root. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Right? That's why we
Mm.
gotta come out with our encyclopedia so then we can include it because
I gotta
it
start
wants to
pulling
be-
this out for all of our herbal stuff. It's got
Yeah.
a lot. Okay. It boasts a rich history of medicinal uses dating back centuries. Is celebrated for its diverse array of health benefits, ranging from its reputed ability to alleviate anxiety and stress to its potential as a digestive aid and anti-inflammatory agent. Vervain is often brewed into teas or tinctures to help promote relaxation, ease insomnia, Justina, and soothe nervous tension. Additionally, its anti-inflammatory properties make it a valuable remedy to alleviate discomfort associated with conditions like arthritis and muscle pain. The tonic in teas, it says, is good. They're good for kidneys and livers.
Oh, that's good to know because I've had my liver issues.
Yes. Yeah, or maybe if you're trying to like detox, maybe you had like a heavy drinking weekend or something.
Yeah.
Can calm the nerves, reduce a cough, can lower fevers, and help combat insomnia. But with any and all herbs, make sure to consult your healthcare professional before adding vervain to your medicine regimen.
Yeah. So although verbena or vervain has been used in herbalism and traditional medicine, usually as an herbal tonic, there is no high quality evidence for its effectiveness. Verbena has been listed as one of the 38 plants used to prepare what are Bach flower remedies.
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it says it's a kind of alternative medicine promoted for its effect on health, but that doesn't really say much. According to Cancer Research UK, essence therapists believe that using essences can help to increase your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. However, essences are not used to prevent, control, or cure cancer or any other physical connection. Okay, so it's like a homeopathic remedy.
Get this. So a Bach flower remedy are solutions of brandy and water containing extreme dilutions of flower material developed by Edward Bach, an English homeopath in 1910. So you're like instilling the herb into alcohol and water
Yeah,
and
okay.
drinking it.
Oh, it's a tincture, right?
Brand
Like a
it.
Oh, I like that. So the essential oil of various species, mainly common vervain, is traded as Spanish verbena oil, considered inferior to oil of lemon verbena, Aloysia citrodora, is in perfumery. It is of some commercial importance for herbalism. So it seems like I guess the lemon verbena, it's more used in perfumes, it sounds
Okay.
like.
Yeah, less edible, more smelly good.
Exactly, exactly. All right. And then this says Native American tribes were also said to use vervain for its health benefits. It was said that they used the flowers and the roots of vervain as a natural treatment for headaches and even insomnia, which we said before. Verbena has long been associated with divine and other supernatural forces. It was called as we were saying earlier, it's called the Tears of Isis in ancient Egypt, and later called Hera's Tears. In ancient Greece, it was dedicated to Eos Eryngenia. The generic name is the Latin term for a plant sacred to the ancient Romans. Pliny the Elder, there's that name again, describes verbena presented on Jupiter altars. What the hell's a Jupiter altar?
Like
It
if your deity is Jupiter, you
Okay,
have an
got it.
altar.
Got it. Got it. It is not entirely clear if this referred to a verbena rather than the general term for prime sacrificial herbs. No plant, however, is so renowned among the Romans as Hera botane, the sacred plant. Some call it Aristerion, and Latin writers Verbenaceae. This is the plant which, wait, did you write this that you mentioned?
No.
Okay, so whoever this author is says this is the plant which I mentioned as carried to the enemies by envoys. With this, the table of Jupiter is swept and the homes are cleansed and purified. There are two kinds of it. One has many leaves and thought to be female, the other is male and has fewer leaves.
So on the right side, Pliny the Elder wrote this in, I guess, Latin, and it's in the Naturalist Historia. And then what Justina just read was translated by Harris Rackham. So
God.
all that Latin was translated to what you just read.
Oh my God, that's a lot of Latin.
And
Thank
how
God-
dare you say I wrote that nonsense?
Oh, because I didn't know that I was reading a translation of whatever was on the right. I was about to go to the right side and start reading that now.
No, don't do that.
I was like, what is that? Good thing you told me that was all in Latin. I would have tried reading it. All right. So Pliny the Elder notes the Magi especially make the maddest statements about the plant, that among other things, a circle must be drawn with iron around the plant. The common names of verbena in many Central and Eastern European languages often associated with iron. These include, for example, the Dutch ironhard, Danish Gernert, medical ironwort, German Ectis Eisenkraut, true iron herb, and Slovak Zeleznik lekarski, medical iron herb, and Hungarian Vastu, iron grass. So in the early Christian era, folk legend stated that Verbena officinalis was used to staunch Jesus's wounds after his removal from the cross. It was consequently called holy herb or devil's bane. According to the Wiccan writer Doreen Valiente, vervain flowers signify the goddess Diana and are often depicted on chimaruta, traditional Italian amulets. Or chimarucha, that's the C in Italian is pronounced as a CH. The chimaruta. It's an Italian folk amulet or a talisman traditionally worn around the neck or hung above an infant's bed to ward off the evil eye. The molocho, commonly made of silver, the amulet itself consists of several small apotropic charms, some of which draw upon Christian symbolism, with each individual piece attached to what is supposed to represent a branch of rue. Okay, the flowering medicinal herb for what is the whole talisman is named Chimaruta, being a Neapolitan form of Cima di Ruta, Italian for sprig of rue. So if you turn this picture upside down, or right side up, basically,
Yeah.
doesn't that look like the symbol that Sally had, like, as the silhouette on the bottles of her...
I was going to say it looks like the alchemical hand that Ian has with all those symbols at the top.
Or that too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like the heart key and...
The moon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was more so looking at, like, the shape of the branches. Like, if you turn it the other way, it kind of has the same structure as that silhouetted image in the center of Sally's labels on her bottles.
Kind of. I think that symbol was more like a 3-leaf clover, kind of.
Okay. All right.
Kind of shape.
Christina's like, yeah, no.
I don't think so.
Not it. Okay. Moving along. In the 1870, The History and Practice of Magic by Paul Christian, Jean-Baptiste pitois. It is employed in the preparation of a mandragora charm. The book also describes, like a mandrake root?
Yeah.
Oh, the book also describes its antiseptic capabilities and use as a protection against spells. Romani people use vervain for love and good luck. While common vervain is not native to North America, it has been introduced there. For example, the Pawnee have adopted it as an entheogen enhancer and an oniomancy, a dream divinator, much as Calia Zacataquiche is used in Mexico.
That's a kind of plant. Okay.
Okay. In the Victorian language of flowers, verbena held the dual meaning of enchantment and sensibility.
That's pretty much Sally right there.
Definitely,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So some derive its name from Venus, thus highlighting the aphrodisiac properties confirmed by Hippocrates, 5th century BC, who recommends the decoction of vervain to cure the sterility of women. Also, Galen, 2nd century AD, suggested vervain to strengthen the member.
Oh, shit.
Others, on the other hand, associate the term with the etymological verber whip because its bundled branches served as a whip in ritual and proprietary ceremonies. Are they talking about how, like, what are those people that whip their...
Did we talk about that?
We did. I don't remember what
Doesn't
episode.
matter.
Flatulence.
Flatulence. Flatulence or flagellance?
Flatulence. We keep saying flatulence, like
Okay.
like ripping ass. Yeah. This says modern witches often associate vervain with the Druids. However, its magical uses date back much further. The ancient Egyptians believed vervain sprang from the tears of Isis as she cried over the death of her beloved Osiris, which is why we think, why I think anyway, why Sally might have named her shop Verbena in dedication to Michael. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the story of Isis and Osiris is one of love, loss, and resurrection. And we also just talked about this too, right? On like one of our recent episodes.
Yeah.
Osiris, the god of the afterlife and fertility, was murdered by his jealous brother Set, who dismembered his body and scattered the pieces across Egypt. Devastated, Isis, Osiris's wife and sister, searched tirelessly to find and reassemble his body. According to legend, as she mourned his death, her tears fell to the ground and gave rise to vervain, verbena, making the plant sacred and associated with grief, healing, and renewal. So yeah, the plant itself is associated with grief and healing, so that makes perfect sense why Sally would have named it that.
Good job, guys.
Isis eventually succeeded in bringing Osiris back to life for a short time, during which she conceived their son Horus. Though Osiris could not remain in the land of the living, he became ruler of the underworld, while Horus would later avenge him by defeating Set. Because of this myth, vervain became a symbol of mourning, love that transcends death, and sacred healing. The Roman, Greeks, Celtic Druids, and worshippers of Thor in Scandinavia all considered vervain to be a holy plant. Barbie Gardiner, in her blog post, Blue Vervain, the hidden aspects of magical medicinal herb, she writes, the name verbena means altar plant, and it was used as an altar herb by the Egyptians, Romans, and Greeks. Known as a holy herb, it was burned in Roman temples and scattered on altars, while their soldiers carried sprigs of vervain as protection. Some myths suggest vervain was carried by Roman soldiers to foster peace among enemies. Legend states that if a drink made with vervain is shared between enemies, friendlier relations are possible. The famous Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder describes the magical uses of vervain in great detail. In his book, Natural History, he writes, with this, the table of Jupiter is swept, and homes are cleansed and purified. There are two kinds of it. One has many leaves and is thought to be female, the other one male, has fewer leaves. Some authorities do not distinguish these two kinds, since both have the same properties. Both kinds are used by the people of Gaul in fortune-telling and in uttering prophecies, but the Magi especially make the maddest statements about the plant, that people who have been rubbed with it obtain their wishes, banish fevers, win friends, and cure all diseases without exception. They say, too, that if a dining couch is sprinkled with water in which this plant has been soaked, the entertainment becomes merrier.
Oh my god.
That's funny. By the Middle Ages, vervain has become the official herb of English apothecaries and was used to treat numerous physical ailments. That could also be why Sally decided to use it as an homage to English apothecaries, and she's, her roots is literally Essex, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So vervain was used to treat issues pertaining to the digestive system, the lungs, sexual issues, and even as a disease preventative. In addition to health issues, vervain was and still is used in magical rituals and spells. Magical uses of vervain target healing, luck, love, and protection of all kinds. Protection from witchcraft, protection against snake bites, which we just talked about, and protection from evil spirits are just a few of Vervain's magical uses. Wilfred Bosner describes an old charm for nightmares that feature the use of vervain as a form of protection. According to the charm, vervain strung about the neck or drunk prior to going to bed could prevent dreaming. Another example includes one mentioned by Grillo de Givery, in his book Witchcraft, Magic, and Alchemy, he writes, "To gain the love of a person, rub your hands with the juice of vervain and touch the man or woman you wish to inspire to love." And as previously mentioned, vervain has been used over the centuries for a variety of things. Druids were said to use the plant in their rituals, Romans were said to venerate it as a holy plant, and Egyptians typically used it for their altars. In fact, Egyptians believed that vervain was specifically from the gods. Druids, those pesky and mysterious Celtic figures, were said to typically harvest vervain under the constellation Sirius. The use of the plant was believed to be used for druidic practices of divination, consecration, and ritual cleansing, and to this day, planting vervain near your house is said to be good luck and protective. So I wasn't too far off planting that in the front of my house.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and in the Bible of magic, we find his ritual for good journeys. Take a branch of elder and get a stick from it after Pentecost. Remove the marrow, and after closing one end, insert 2 wolf's eyes into the other, tongue and dog's heart, 3 lizards, 3 swallow hearts. Fill with saltpeter and with 7 vervain leaves collected on the night of St. John, and a stone of different colors. Close the hole with an ivory knob made from an elephant tusk that is no more than a year old, and finally, the stick is ready.
That's so specific.
That's like some Brassidia
You
shit,
gotta
right?
really want this to work.
And you gotta do this all in 3 days, probably, right? And with it will be possible to undertake every journey without danger. You will avoid bad encounters, the bite of vipers, dogs, and wild beasts. Honestly, a bit horrible as a formula for a peaceful journey,
Yeah,
and
true.
also just getting all those ingredients, like, seems like a bit of a headache. It's like that old world magic. It's like you can never do it's like those old world witches that try to gatekeep, and they're like, okay, well, if you want to be a real witch, you have to get all these things.
Yeah,
And you're like,
really
oh,
don't need all
shit,
those
well,
things.
where the fuck am I gonna find an elephant tusk on
It now comes in a box, pre-made. Add water.
Amazon.com? Oh man, it's so funny. An ancient Christian legend tells how this plant had sprung up on Mount Calvary, so the vervain was considered divine. When picked up, a spell was formulated. You are holy, vervain, how you grow on the earth. Because at the beginning on Calvary you were found. You healed the Redeemer and closed his bleeding wounds. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, I take you. With these words, vervain was picked for its magnificent healing virtues, and since then it also took the name of sacred grass. In the liturgy of the feast dedicated to the Assumption of Mary, the vervain was used for the blessing of churches. On that occasion, the ritual of the consecration of herbs developed so that their healing properties were protected from the evil one and the powers of darkness.
First of all, that's witchcraft. Second of
That's
all,
witchy as hell.
I didn't see anything about this being like a blood stopper. You know how that some herbs are like they'll help clot your blood. And if this is like this was used to staunch Jesus's wound, did they just shove this plant into his side and just plug it up?
Ooh.
I think
so
so. Was he buried with
With-
vervain in him?
Vervain.
And is that okay? Wait,
Oh shit!
is Jesus a
Radical.
vampire? Because we're going to talk about Vampire Diaries later.
Shut the fuck up. In reference to vervain?
Yeah, it like deters vampires. So I don't think that necessarily cross correlates, but I just thought that was funny. Because
was
like
like-
Zombie Jesus Day is coming up.
Right. Yeah, it's not be Jesus. So that's quite possible that he might have been buried with vervain in him.
That's crazy.
So did they staunch his wounds before he was nailed to the cross? I'm guessing. Like they couldn't do it while he was already up there.
Well, okay, so he's nailed up there, right? And
Yeah.
he's like not dying. So they get one of the guards to stab him with the spear, and that's why he's
Okay.
got that hole in his side.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, then they took him down, and then they put they
But like
staunched
if
him up.
if he was already dying, then why would they need to staunch his wounds? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. This is Catholicism, y'all.
Nothing makes the product doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Make the math. Okay.
Tell us about magic.
Okay. So this is specifically lemon verbena as far as magic, with its fresh, uplifting aroma has been valued not only for its culinary and medicinal uses, but also for its spiritual benefits. So here we go. It can be used for cleansing and purification, aura cleansing. We just had our whole aura episode not too long ago. It's believed to cleanse the aura, removing negative energies and spiritual blockages, using it in smudging rituals or as bath additives can help purify one's energy field. You can use it for space clearing, burning lemon verbena, or using it as a spray can cleanse and refresh living spaces, promoting a positive and harmonious environment. I want to burn it. That sounds great. I could do that too. It can enhance your mood and emotional well-being. We talked about it, helping with like anxiety and depression. Stress relief. The calming scent of lemon verbena is known to reduce stress and anxiety, promoting a sense of peace and relaxation. Emotional healing. It can aid at helping to release past traumas and emotional pain, fostering forgiveness and emotional renewal. You can use it in meditation work. Using lemon verbena in meditation can enhance your focus, clarity, and spiritual insight. I think of like lemon. That's a sharp scent that's going to cut through. It's going to make you very focused. Its uplifting aroma can help clear the mind and deepen the meditative experience. You can use it in dream work. Justina just told us that word that I've never heard before as far as dreams. Lemon verbena is believed to enhance vivid dreams and improve dream recall, making it a valuable herb for those practicing dream work or seeking spiritual guidance through dreams. You can use it in protection. It's used in protection rituals to ward off negative energies and psychic attacks. Carrying a sprig or using it in a sachet can offer spiritual protection. Or in hex breaking, according to Alice, it can attract positivity. You know, it has a fresh and uplifting scent, and it is thought to attract positive energy and good fortune. Placing lemon verbena in your home can create joyful and harmonious atmospheres. You can use it to enhance love. This has like its hand in everything. Use it to rituals to attract love, strengthen relationships, promote harmony between partners. It's used for the heart chakra. If you work with the chakras, its soothing properties can open and heal the heart chakra, fostering love and compassion and emotional balance. And it has its hand in enhancing intuition. Lemon verbena can help enhance intuition and psychic abilities, making it a useful herb for seeking development, like developing your spiritual gifts and its connection to nature. It can strengthen one's connection to nature and the natural world, fostering a deeper appreciation for the earth's gifts and cycles. And incorporating this into your spiritual practice can provide a range of benefits, from cleansing to protection to emotional healing and spiritual growth. According to Wikipedia, Vervain resonates with the energy of Gemini. I'm doing this on purpose.
Christina, did you write this?
The planet Venus in the water and the element of water. It is considered feminine in nature. Vervain is associated with Caradwin, Isis, Thor, and Jupiter. Saturn, aren't you Jupiter?
Yeah, well, yeah, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, yeah.
And it's popular during midsummer celebrations.
Yeah, Vervain holds a sacred place in the realm of magic. Revered, yeah. Like, that word looks weird right now. Revered for its multifaceted properties that align with love, peace, and protection. In mystical practices, it serves as a potent tool for unlocking the third eye, enhancing spiritual awareness, aiding dream work. Didn't it say before that it prevents you from dreaming?
No, it enhances the travels.
Okay. This was written by ChatGPT, wasn't it? Okay, listen. And deepening intuitive connections during rituals, its presence in protection spells acts as a shield against malevolent forces. Who keeps writing these?
Malevolent forces. Maybe it was. Maybe. We have the link here if you want to go look for yourself where this information came from. But that's funny. We say that at least once an episode.
Creating a barrier, positivity, and safety, Vervain's innate ability to repel negative energies makes it indispensable in cleansing rituals where it purifies magical tools and sacred spaces when immersed in ritual water. As a symbol of love and peace, Vervain is often used as an offering on altars or crafted into talismans, infusing spaces and practitioners with its benevolent energy, fostering harmony and spiritual well-being. So, to get into some more of the magical properties of Vervain, as we have explored, Vervain has been used for a variety of magical and ritual purposes throughout history. It continues to be well loved and a common ingredient in most witches' cupboards. So let's take a moment to break down all the ways it can be used in your favorite spells and rituals. So we already covered protection, purification, and healing, so let's talk about communication. Use Vervain to enhance communication with spirits, ancestors, and otherworldly entities. In your divination, Vervain can be used to enhance psychic abilities and promote clearer divination experiences. It's particularly useful for scrying, tarot readings, and dream work. Luck and prosperity, Vervain can be used to boost luck and encourage the flow of prosperity. It was said it was associated with Jupiter, right? And Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion. So
Very true.
that makes sense. This author says we use vervain in our life of luxury oil. That sounds lovely. And then lastly, you can use it, well, probably not lastly, you could probably use it for so many other things, but love and attraction. Vervain can be used to attract love and enhance romantic relationships. It can be used in love spells or rituals that seek to generate affection, passion, and emotional bonding between two people. They say we use it in a number of our love-related oils, such as the Marry Me oil.
Very nice. So when they're saying, they just said the life of luxury oil, I know they just said, these are from different sources too, that it's kind of connected with Gemini. Life of luxury oil gives me Taurus vibes. So, use it to your discretion. So Raven Caldera describes the perfect culmination of Vervain's multitude of magical properties in her book, The Northern Shamanic Herbal. And she writes, an all-purpose powerful herb for protection, exorcisms of spirits, vision work, healing, peacefulness, and, you should want it, vows of chastity. Vervain was used for dream magic, and druids made their holy water with it. It is associated with opals, agates, and also bards and skalds, as it aids in their performances. As such, it could be associated with the rune O's. Swordsmiths quench their blades in vervain water in order to strengthen the iron. We learned it was connected with iron. So vervain is a good blessing for blacksmiths and weapon makers. And
are we gonna have to contact that blacksmith? Remember that guy?
Let's circle back to that in a year. We'll see. Yeah, blacksmith, good, because we do talk about like the different metals turning black, and now that we have this iron connection, and witches have an aversion to iron apparently, right? And silver. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So this says it could be rubbed between two weapons to prevent breaking. It's important to note that the use of vervain in the magical arts can vary not only by one's intentions, but also by specific traditions and beliefs. When working with vervain, this person suggests letting the herb guide you. Try meditating with it close to you. Simply hold it in your hand and ask it how it wishes to work with you. This may sound silly, but vervain is one of those herbs that truly can help you manifest. Take your time, give it a try. And that is from theartofroot.com.
You can use vervain in all your celebrations when it comes to all the 8 Sabbats. Want to ensure a magical year ahead? Toss a sprig of vervain onto the litha bonfire. Wear an amulet filled with it to encourage inspiration and skill. Use a bundle of vervain to sprinkle blessed water when casting a circle. You can also use a sprig of vervain to ritually sweep your altar to purify and bless it. It only mentions litha, but you could do this at every Sabbat, right? And the vervain plant may be bruised and worn about the neck to protect from headaches and snake bites again. And I think it's so convenient that we talked about snakes last week for 5 freaking hours, mind you. I think we even talked about on that snake episode what to do in case of a snake bite, but I don't remember talking about vervain or verbena as a remedy. Do you?
Go to the doctor.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Obviously, right. Yeah, but I don't even think vervain came up in the snake bite. In the 5 hours we talked about snake bite, I don't think vervain came up once.
No.
Yeah, so this is news to me. But anyway, this topic seems to be the perfect follow-up episode to the snake one, if that's the case. So this charm is also said to bring help when you need it, no matter how dire your situation. A fresh sprig carried on your person helps protect from baneful magic spells cast against you, like the Maloikyo, right? Vervain.
Sensational.
That woman is my hero. Vervain may be planted or placed around your property to protect from damage by bad weather. It may be burned as an offering or infused into water and sprinkled onto the altar for purification. In Hellenic rituals, the plants may be bundled and used to sweep the altar or ritual area, or dipped into sacred water to asperge the altar or ritual area. It can also be used in a wash to rid an area or person of negative energies, and may be combined with dill for this purpose. Vervain may be used in love spells to rekindle a dying love. It may also be woven into bridal wreaths or carried in bridal bouquets to ensure love to the couple. And lastly, drinking a tea made of vervain is said to ward off, Christina, you said it, ward off vampires. A vervain plant buried in the garden will bring abundant crops. The leaves may be burned to attract wealth.
But it didn't keep Jesus down. Somehow, poof, 3 days later.
Brought him back to life. Oh my God.
So we're mentioning Nostradamus, and he is fascinating. I don't know anything specific about him, but just like the in passing predictions that man has made.
Right.
What in the world? Who is this man?
Who is he?
This says that the legendary Nostradamus suggested collecting vervain in the celestial night to prepare a talisman to carry out good journeys. So I don't think this is the same talisman. I think, is from a different source. But if you're going to use it in a talisman, they were used as talismans. And in ancient times, the girls who are about to get married would wear vervain as a bunch of flowers to have a great wedding night. We learned it's to help strengthen the member, right?
Yeah. 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 Did I ever tell you in LA we had a cactus and we called it the dactus?
The
'Cause
dactus. Dude,
it looked so phallic.
that word popped into my brain probably like last month,
Yeah.
and I started laughing, and I thought it was
Dactus?
something between Aaron and I, because I was like, where did that come from? That is so fucking funny. You don't remember the dactus? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh, I know where that came from. Never mind.
Oh.
Never mind.
Yeah, it was me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Explanation of what an amulet is and what a talisman is, because there's two different words, two different things. An amulet, anything that promotes good as a preventative measure against evil, harm, disease, witchcraft, etc. So amulet is preparing for it's just in case. Talisman is a consecrated object through the performance of a religious ritual. It has to have a magical or sacred inscription. The object that is supposed to enjoy hidden powers of planetary influences and celestial configurations under which the magical or religious ritual has been performed. Basically, talismans are a little trickier than an amulet to have and to prepare to work in your daily life, as it requires tons of magical and ritual spells, while an amulet requires very little prep work period.
Wait, to work and start attracting love.
Yeah, but you can make an talisman for anything.
Okay, quick
That's
question. In the movie, Sally refers to Gary's badge as his talisman, right? So that would have meant that Gary would have had to consecrate his badge through performance of religious ritual.
Well, it is inscribed. It has where he is stationed. And when you become an officer of the law, you have to take an oath in
That is
ceremony.
right. I like yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny to like picture him in a robe and like, sprinkling that shit with some kind of herb or water. Anyway, all right. So you can also use vervain as a love magnet. In the past, the vervain or verbena officinalis was considered very effective in love and sexual relationships. It was said that to conquer the heart of the desired person, it was enough to touch it after rubbing the hands with the juice of this plant. So you take the vervain plant, shred it, rub the proceeds on a left hand, and mark a cross on the forehead with it. I guess like Ash Wednesday, like how they do the ashes, right? And then it says, then we proceed to mark a cross on the loved one, reciting this formula. Katos, let your desire be agreed with mine, like that of Saint Joseph with Mary, in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, so be it. But like, okay, isn't that like not blasphemy to be using the saints, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit?
There's Catholic witches. There's Christian witches.
I know, which like that blows my mind.
You don't think Jesus was the witchiest
motherfucker
of all?
Jesus was the witchiest motherfucker of all. I'm not faulting him. I'm faulting for all the hypocrites who are condemning him for his witchery. Okay. So don't condemn witchery if you're following the biggest witch of all of them. So make it make sense to me.
Exactly.
Makes no sense to me. So yeah, so there's some Catholic witchcraft for you guys. If you guys are Catholics and you do consider yourself a witch, have at it. Let us know how that goes. Lastly, we're gonna get into some pop culture. Did you know this, that Verbenas is another name for a Spanish festival?
No.
Verbenas are traditional Spanish outdoor festivals often held in honor of a patron saint and are characterized by music, dancing, food, and merriment.
Why are they called that?
I don't know. So it says the cultural significance. They are a vibrant part of Spanish culture, evolving from patronal feasts into symbols of communal joy. And it gives some examples in media. La Verbena de la Paloma is the Fair of the Dove, a famous zarzuela, which is a Spanish operetta. The whole thing is set at a verbena, one of these festivals, and has been made into a movie, which I've never heard of this movie. And then the film Verbena Tragica, the tragic festival, it translates to. It uses a verbena as a backdrop for a tragic story. I keep thinking like whenever I say use as a verbena, I'm thinking of the herb, but then I have to switch it in my mind that verbena is a festival, not
Right.
herb,
Weird.
right. And then lastly, the song Verbena de San Cayetano celebrates a verbena in Madrid. So yeah,
Do you think that translates? So does that translate into festival,
let's see.
or is it a type of festival?
What does verbena mean in Spanish? Okay, so the Spanish word verbena has multiple meanings, including a fair, which is what we just talked about, a dance party, and a plant. So
Okay.
basically all the
Dance
things
party.
yeah. Yeah, a
Cool,
verbena.
cool.
Yeah, a
So-
verbena can refer to a fair, especially held at night. It can
Okay.
also refer to an open air celebration on the eve of a saint's day.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you watch The Vampire Diaries when it was on?
I did not. I never got into that. I think that was past my like not teenage time, but like you know that age where you're like into all of those shows.
Yeah. Oh, I
You
know.
watch
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's where I had heard Vervain
Okay.
first. And I think I was like just getting into college when this came out.
This
But
show was that
anyway,
old?
it's old. Yeah, that's pretty old.
Okay, because I know we ain't no spring chickens anymore, so I'm like, I remember the name, hearing the name float around, but I never got into that show. I was
Yeah.
never into Buffy either, though. So like,
I didn't watch that show either.
yeah, like I never really. I know Willow on that show, Allison Hannigan's character was a witch,
Mm.
but I never really got into it because it was mostly vampires, and I was more of like The Craft and
Yeah,
Charmed, and more
yeah.
of the witchy aesthetic shows.
Mhm,
Oh, yeah.
mhm.
Well, tell us how Vervain is connected to the Vampire Diaries.
It is a potent herb and also a vampire's I was gonna say it's worst nightmare. It's most well known as its weakness.
So like,
I'm gonna reread that part real quick.
It's kryptonite,
It's
basically.
their kryptonite, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Vervain, if touched by a vampire, can cause burns to the skin. If a human has ingested vervain and a vampire feeds on them, the vampire is affected within seconds and extremely weakened. If a human ingests or holds vervain somewhere on the body, such as like holding it in a hand or putting it in a pocket or wearing it in jewelry, the human is protected by vampire compulsion and entitled to free will.
Okay, I was like looking real quick to see what the plant in Nosferatu was, but it's lilacs. It wasn't vervain. Because I remember at the end of the Nosferatu movie, the one that just came out with Lily Rose Depp. Well, I don't want to give this away for anybody, but there's lilacs like all over this movie.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they were directly associated. They like, I guess this Google says it symbolizes her innocence and purity. They're just like all over. Yeah, it was very.
Lilacs was our
have you
episode
still
21.
Not seen that movie? Have you seen that movie yet?
No.
God, you gotta see it. It's so good.
Dude, I'm so into Korean dramas right now.
I know you are. I'm just gonna let you have that for, and then yeah, we'll circle back.
Okay.
And then lastly, there's not too much that I found, according to pop culture with verbena, vervain, whatever. But do you remember in like the early 2000s, Bath and Body Works had the coconut lime verbena scent?
I do. And the only reason why I wore it is because Verbena was in Practical Magic. And the
Okay.
only reason I got a job at Bath and Body Works is because of the Verbena apothecary. And I kind of used that like in my little interview.
Yeah.
That's how I got it. I don't know if I loved this scent, but I just remember it so vividly because of the verbena in the name.
I also have that scent in my nose hairs forever, but not for that reason. But
Oh, no.
I used to date a guy that used to douse himself in this shit.
Really?
He used to slather it on like mayonnaise. And I'm like, yo, why do you put that on so much? He just really loved that lotion. And like
Oh my
every time, like, yeah, he would have to like restock on the stuff. But it's got a very tropical scent. I felt like I was always at the beach when I was dating him. Anyway, Bath and Body discontinued this stuff, and now I think you can only find it on eBay.
That's a shame.
Yeah. But I bet the aunts would have been all over this stuff because it's got the lemon lime of the verbena, it's got the coconut, it's basically the lime and the coconut,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, for the longest time I had no idea, number one, what verbena was, and number two, what the hell did verbena actually smell like. But if you put those two and two together, you get this coconut lime verbena scent from Bath and Body Works.
It feels like there was no verbena in this at all. It's just coconut.
Coconut, and what does it say?
citrus.
Lime? It says coconut and lime, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess the citrus is the verbena, kind of, right? Because lemon verbena, it's got the citrus
Okay.
feel to it.
Okay.
So lemon lime verbena, maybe I don't know, coconut lime verbena, and I guess the citrus comes from the verbena part of it.
I
But
can't
yeah,
believe they discontinued it.
growing up, I was like, what the fuck is verbena and what does it smell like?
Do they still make sweet pea?
No, I don't think they make that either. I think they discontinued like a lot of the like big runners in the early 2000s, late 90s.
That's a shame. That is
Yeah.
a shame. I have two Bath and Body Works. I can't tell you the last time I was at Bath and Body Works.
Oh, I'm always there. I get the
I-
coupons in the mail, so I'm like, I have to use it.
If it was closer, maybe, but I probably bought these body sprays
Yeah.
in college. Maybe. I still have them and I use them so sparingly because I'm sure they don't make them anymore.
Right.
Can't remember what
Yeah.
they are though.
It's like a nice little time capsule in a bottle, right? You just spray it and then you just get transported back to that time. We're like, whoa.
You do the whole
Yeah. Yeah. Or you spray it in the air and then you walk through it.
That's the more subtle way. Yeah.
I told you about the that love witch that me and my friend Ashley got love bombed by at
Okay,
the
so if that bottle, how big was the bottle?
it was like, I don't know, how big would you say?
Like a fist?
Yeah, like if you take your fingers and form them in a circle, like that
Okay.
that big.
Okay. I'm not gonna math, but if that bottle is $98, how many dollars did she spray around you just then?
Oh God, I don't know.
Like $20 worth of spray? 15?
Yeah. It was very expensive, but it was smelled very luxurious.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then
What would you say its scent profile was like?
Bordello.
Oh, okay.
I said me and
Saucy.
Ash, they're smelling like ladies of the night.
Okay.
I was like, did she cast a spell on us to make us buy stuff? Because we left there like that was our last booth. We were about to leave. Basically, everybody, I'm talking about a crystal. We went to a holistic crystal expo, but like there's different merchants there and like, people are selling their wares. But like we were there for like a good maybe 2 hours and we finally got to this last booth. And we're like, all right, we're done spending money. We already did our damage. This lady comes out of nowhere and starts like peddling her wares to us. So she starts spraying us with perfume, and we just bought all the things.
I
bought
her wares.
I bought a clutch bag. Ashley bought a bracelet, and then like one of those sheer bodysuits that like I think those are making a comeback from like the 90s.
Oh my God.
So we just like we
Good for
spent
her.
money. We both really wanted to buy that perfume, but I was like $98 is kind of steep. It did smell
So
very
was it very specific? Like this isn't something you could kind of like Google search and find the maker and go down that road?
Well, she did have a postcard for each scent that she sprayed on us, and it had I think it had all her information on it. So we could probably find her online if we wanted to buy it, online at some
Yeah.
point. But like, I already spent over $100 on crystals and bullshit, so
Yep.
I don't know if I could afford another $98 on a bottle of perfume right now. But it did smell really good.
Maybe for Christmas. Give that card to Avi. Hey,
Yeah.
birthday, Christmas gift.
It was very strong though. Like I smelled like that for the rest of the night until
Oh,
I
no.
showered the next morning.
Wow.
So like
She
I
put
don't
a
know.
spell on.
She did. It was intoxicating. It's like she just like took us and put us into like not I wouldn't even say like a honeysuckle. What's something that's like the lilacs from Practical Magic? Like the smell was just like drawing us to her booth, and I was like, what is that?
She got you good.
Oh good. Yeah.
Let's round this out with some Brassidia Ryan. I
Right.
told Justina this morning, I don't know if you got my marker. I'm going to start tabbing all of the ones we do. I got to be honest. I don't even like this book. Like, I don't like what she has to say. I don't like how she does any of the dream interpretations, but I just think she's so funny. And
Yeah.
I have all these like really fun color tabbies. And I think it would be cool to tab them as we go along.
It's tradition at this point, so we got to keep rolling with the procedure.
Exactly. All right. So she does have verbena. Very simple, straight to the point. You will enjoy loving the same person for a lifetime. Is that why she named her shop Verbena?
Well, I mean, yeah, he passed on. Like, she did
She'll love
move
him
on.
forever.
She moved on, but I mean, like, you never forget somebody who passed on, even if
Yeah.
you move on, right? So I would say Michael is in her heart forever. And I do think that she did open that shop as a tribute to him because she didn't get that's something that they planned to do together ultimately. And they didn't get to because of his untimely passing. So I think it was just her way of memorializing him and, just giving him that honor of like, I would have liked to have done this with you, but I know you can't be here, so I'm gonna do it in honor of you.
Yeah.
At least,
She didn't know about Brassidia.
You didn't No.
Oh,
Or
man.
Gary at that point yet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All
We
right.
are not sure what's coming up next week. There's a few in the pot simmering,
Right.
stirring, but we're heading into the last few weeks of March, y'all.
Yeah.
Spring is going to be sprungeth.
Spring has sprung.
If you would like to, well, firstly, don't forget to go check out our Verbena Apothecary design over on our Teespring. The links are in our link tree over on our Instagram. But if you want to support the podcast, here's how.
You can support us for as little as $1 a month. That's our seedling tier, and that gets you access to our patron-only polls where you get to weigh in on what topics you would like us to talk about next. It also gets you our monthly calendar so you can see what topics we have coming up for the month, and it also gets you a welcome shout out on the show. Our $3 Lavender Bud tier gets you our show notes for each episode in an aesthetically pleasing PDF, our after hours posts, if there's any extra tidbits or behind the scenes info pertaining to any of our episodes, we'll post those along with a blog post or extra photos, and access to our specially curated Spotify playlists. We have created playlists for our WMSR episodes as well as Production Dream playlists for each song episode, and more. Our $5 Lilac tier gets you access to our private Facebook community where we host a monthly live stream. Plus, you'll get access to our Discord server where we host our monthly watch parties. And also on the Discord, you can join in on the discussion with other Magnolia Street neighbors via the various interesting channels and threads. And then here's the $8 Rose tier. This gets you access to extra audio-visual content such as a once a month full-length video episode, unlimited bonus videos, uncut footage, cutting room floor footage, bloopers, outtakes, meditations, exclusive interviews, and old home videos from the vault, or spell or ritual videos, and more. It also gets you bonus content to coincide with our song-episodes, such as full-length demo streams of our original Practical Magic inspired music, plus lyric sheets, guitar chords, and original scratch demos, or bonus video performances of our songs and more. Lastly, we have our $15 Wisteria Vine tier. Just like a twisting Wisteria Vine, there's a way for you to stay connected with us, the Stinas. In this tier, we invite you to join our private Marco Polo video messaging app. The app is totally free for both Android and iOS. Sign up with your phone number or email, and we will help you do the rest. This is a great way to chat with each other in a more intimate group setting, face-to-face via video recording. We love to show each other our pets, our gardens, or anything else you'd like to share. And just a reminder that the higher the tier you sign up under, the more rewards you get, because you get all of the rewards of the tiers below it. You can upgrade or downgrade or even cancel at any time. So to support the podcast, head to patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast.
Yeah, and there are additional ways to support us and our podcast that don't cost you any money. If you do listen on Spotify, please give us a star rating. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please give us a written review. We love sharing those on our Instagram. And if you're on Instagram, we would really appreciate any reposts or blurbs about our podcast. And make sure to tag us at Magnolia Street Podcast in your feed, posts, stories, and share us with your Practical Magic loving friends. But y'all, we would love to talk to you. Hit us up on Instagram. Magnolia Street Podcast at gmail.com is our email. We want to talk to you guys. It's real quiet over here. Just Dina and I talking to each other.
Well, we have been getting some feedback through our Instagram, so I've definitely been keeping up with that. I've been chit-chatting with some of our listeners over there, and we've gotten a lot of feedback as far as like stuff that they want to hear us talk about that we haven't talked about yet. So we're gonna hit up all of those suggestions and start formulating those episodes, because I think there's some really great ideas in there. I know we have like a bunch of different crystals interest. People want to hear us talk about that.
Nice.
And a couple of the other things. So thanks everybody who's been giving us your feedback. And I don't know if we have a name for our Magnolia Street Hobgoblin yet, but we also got some votes on that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. So
Okay,
maybe,
I gotta go look at those.
yeah, check that out.
Okay.
All right. I think that's all we have for today. I'm Justina.
I'm Christina.
And we'll see you next time.
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you go